See how many we got watching? We got 6 people. We got Jeremy on the other. Did you say hi to Jeremy? Jeremy's there.
Hi, Jeremy.
Jeremy's here. I can feel him.
Okay,
Oh, he's nice in Florida.
I brought
He's
you
here.
a painting too. I brought you a painting, Jeremy, when you come.
okay.
That alone, Jeremy, is reason to come here. Absolutely.
Right to me.
Okay, ready?
Okay, so we hi, this is the Zen Mommy, and we're having a little bit of a special today. I'm in South Carolina with YouTubers Naya, Yvonne Ballard, Gman, Purple Sky Awakening, and Michelle and Kim, and we are sitting
You
here
got some already.
having some spiritual conversation and just enjoying ourselves. And I thought if we go live, you guys might can learn some of the things that I'm going to be learning today. And so this is Naya. Talked about her on the channel. She had a near-death experience, came back with a full memory, and has a YouTube channel. Check her out, Yvonne Ballard. G-Man, Purple Sky Awakening. He formerly G-Man interviews. He interviews other spiritual YouTubers,
Including you.
including me. He was the first person that interviewed me.
And he just had an out-of-body experience with a head-on collision.
Don't remember it though.
He doesn't
I will.
remember it yet, but he will.
I will.
Mhm.
And
Did you? Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
with
right.
you. I was with you.
We went for a walk with the yeah.
and Kim is over here in the corner. She
You gotta get the camera, Kim.
so G-Man, when I met G-Man, let's see, was it almost a year?
Yeah, about maybe
October.
October-ish, yeah.
About October, he found one of my videos and he wanted to interview me. And since then, he invited me to introduce me to Naya's Family Collective. And we all kind of talked through her channel and everything. And we've kind of formed like a soul family relationship. And now we're meeting each other in real life. And so
Absolutely.
this is our first time, most of us meeting at the same time.
Yeah.
I met Naya before already. She came to my
I think
house.
everybody, right? Because you never met Michelle or me or Kim.
And
Or did you meet her before?
I know, so that's my first time
Okay.
meeting her. And Michelle does these paintings. These paintings are
Yeah, we got.
vibrational paintings, and they are healing. And so she did each one of us a
There you
painting.
go.
Yeah, Kim doesn't have hers here.
Okay, let me
Kim
get
does.
this.
Kim
Can
does
you
have
close
one.
one for me?
There it is, right there. There's your.
Okay, and here's my painting. What we're gonna
doing a
do
live simulcast
is
with
we're gonna try to
Zen
discuss the meaning of this painting she created for me.
She's on her channel live.
And so now I talked about how I did an ayahuasca experience. I never told her what I saw, but she has painted what I've seen in the ayahuasca experience. And so,
You got people talking.
You're doing
oh, they
good.
are talking?
No way you can read that. though.
Somebody's little
You're
bubble.
probably asking all these great questions. We have.
Yeah, and there's no questions. They're all saying everybody's beautiful and stuff. No questions yet. I'll follow up on the questions. Look at 11 people watching and 1 like.
Wow, you got 11?
Yay.
111.
Hey, what about the other 10? Where's your likes? Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
We got 2 thumbs up here. So.
Thumbs up. More thumbs up on my
Alright,
video. Thumbs
here.
up.
You
I don't know
can be in
why,
my
but
live. I
that's
just wanted
important.
to.
Thumbs
Alright.
up, people.
So,
There's storms.
okay, so I was asking what was the meaning of my painting, and you said that you wanted me to figure it out.
What did you say first?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
live.
You can do this.
Okay. All right. So.
And not just that you saw it in ayahuasca either.
Okay.
Feel what that means.
Okay. So when she first gave me the painting, the first thing that stood out was this little shape right here. To me, it looks like the face of an alien. It is kind of disturbing to me. And if you look,
Don't look at it like that. Okay, stop.
Uh-huh.
Stop. Don't look at it through human eyes.
Okay.
Feel the painting.
really?
Feel the painting. Don't look at it like it's a picture. Feel. What does it make you feel like?
Uh-huh.
That's what I want you to do.
Okay.
That's how you read her paintings. It's feel your way.
Okay.
And there's your artist right there.
Yeah.
Right, feel it.
Okay, I'm trying to feel it.
Okay.
Wow. No, you're right. It like for a moment it felt like I was in ayahuasca. Like I could just dive into another dimension.
Yeah. There you go.
It just
Now,
took me.
What you want to do is you want to use these paintings. You're going to use these paintings. You're going to back up because there's many layers to everything she does. And these paintings she does are intense. They're motherfucking intense.
Mhm.
You will do this in a meditative state day after day after day. Years from now, you'll still be feeling these things.
Mhm.
Okay? Generally speaking, you've got a lot of in this thing, you've got a lot of very, very quickly knowingness.
Mhm.
And a lot of this is knowingness. Now, the darker areas, anything that's dark, that's densities, that's things that caused you problems.
Mhm.
Now, if you'll notice, right next to that density, right next to that dark stuff, see the pink? Right next to real dark, you
Mhm.
see pink? If you will open up, every single bad thing that's happened to you has led you to something glorious.
Mhm.
If you would stop looking at the bad, if you would stop focusing on the bad and turn around,
Mhm.
there's magnificent stuff that you have found
Mhm.
that has drawn you in a year's time from being totally clueless to awake. But you're doing it. See how much movement there is here? See how much there's movement. There's dark, there's light, there's dark. That's your movement. That's chaotic movement. Now in your case, you're doing that on purpose because you're trying to be awakened fast. You have no patience for doing this slow.
I don't.
None at all. No patience. But on the
sir.
outside, eventually, whenever you sort all this out, whenever you see how much more light there is in this dark,
Yeah.
see how much light there is?
Yeah.
When you figure that out, that all of this is good stuff, and you couldn't have all this good stuff without the dark, then you'll head over into the light. And you'll start taking the dark with you.
You gotta
That is another one of your great gifts. Is that you figure out that dark is not bad. It never was.
Uh-huh.
And you take it to the light. You enlighten it with you. You take it to the light. And that's what all this is. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's agreeing with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Everything you're saying.
okay. So this is where you're heading out to the light, that
Mhm.
ayahuasca that you keep going to.
Mhm.
And that's the lighter part. But what you do is you stop beating up the dark
Mhm.
and you take it with you. You assimilate it to you. And eventually this is where you end up, this assimilation of everything,
Mhm.
which is where you're headed, and then beyond. So you can do another one right here.
What's that?
Yes, you should. Do another one right here that will show you the next step, but this is where you're working right now. This is what you're doing.
So like if I did 3 in a row, the farthest one would be the
It
lightest.
would be pure, it would be all, it would
So
be
forget
everything.
Tommy, right?
Because all the way over is light and dark and
Well, what's
nothing
this?
and
You said,
everything.
where's this going?
That's what ayahuasca truly is.
No,
When
you
you
can't
really
have, you can't have
look
this
at it
also.
right,
Sorry.
and can open your eyes, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's, there is no difference between a light and a dark because it's all one.
I feel like I'm.
And that's what you're figuring
So
out.
And the green
Wait a
at the
minute,
bottom?
everybody?
That
Or
is
it
your,
supposed to be
that
at
is,
the top?
that is Gaia. That is where you're grounded.
Oh, okay.
You're
So let me
grounded
ask
to
you
this
this.
as you do
When
all
you first
this.
met me, you
And
said
don't
you felt
ever
like you
forget, this
all
is
your
just
life.
a touch.
You feel that way
Of
with
this.
yourself?
And this
Really,
is
you
just
feel that way?
grounding you to the planet Earth, so you can do all this.
I feel like I'm.
I feel like
Yes.
I'm coming to a family reunion.
What
And
is
so
that?
That's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
That'll give you enough for now.
Now, when
Yeah.
I made the painting for Simone, you guys asked me to pour blocks. That's, to me,
What's that mean?
that was,
What's that
and
mean?
then
That was
immediately
you.
everything blew up and I was like,
I love
See,
the
that's
writing.
what, okay, let me pull
Be
this
be
out.
now, be water.
Did
I
you-
like that.
So we pulled,
Be your
you
true
pulled,
self.
she pulled your blocks out of the way, stuff that was blocking you.
Did you ask me to-
So that's the reason why you got,
That product.
you got this, and you got this, and you got this, and you got
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
This
right,
is where your blocks were unblocked and it
To
went,
the camera.
it went,
and then you were turmoil.
Because Rich will be watching
turmoil.
this.
Now you gotta sort it
So
out. You
Rich,
gotta
Kim
see
ordered some.
that
of
there
that,
is no such
Is
thing
that
as
why I feel
dark.
like I'm going crazy right now? I feel like my mind is just flooded with all this
Yes.
knowledge and I'm thinking about that scripture where there's much knowledge,
Or
there's
did you
much
take like a
sorrow.
double dose or something?
Well, you gotta sort it out. You can look at it any way you want, it's all perspective.
Just be
You
careful.
can have fun with this
Start
chaos,
kicking
you're the one
in, huh?
that created it,
Just
you're
be
the one
careful,
that
that's
asked for
powerful
it,
stuff.
you can have fun sorting it out, or you can be pissy about it. It's up to you. Always up to you.
Well,
Now you do it so it
I don't
doesn't
know,
hurt
earlier
as
about
bad.
the cell phone thing.
But you have to
That's
go
what
back,
you're
oh, that's just like I do every single time with you, I said, remember, ayahuasca. You've done that on purpose for yourself. So when you get into chaos and shit gets out of control, you remember, oh, wait a minute, I'm in control. I'm a god. I'm doing, not blame everybody else. I'm doing this.
Mhm.
And in that moment, you calm down. In that moment, you have control. In that moment, you go, okay, let's start again. And all you do is start again. Don't let what's happened matter. Because you can start over anytime.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There's no such thing as past. That's a figment of your imagination. So all you gotta do is
Yeah,
just
you were
remember.
watching it, weren't you?
Yeah, when you want all your blocks moved at once, I was like, okay, because I knew it was gonna like, almost be like a smack in the face.
And you didn't warn me?
Well, I kind of asked Naya, and she's like, no, pull them. I'm like, okay. I can handle it.
I can't even remember asking for all my blocks of food. That's how
Oh, it was in the conversation on the,
Yeah.
because I made that special.
Oh, Simone,
for you.
tell Nia and Michelle about the apartment that you left.
What about it?
You know.
Huh? Oh,
About the lightning?
after I left, we got hit by lightning.
You did that.
Goodness.
And
You
did
did
I
that
do
shit.
that? I did create that. You see, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, when it was thundering on Sunday, I was thinking for a second. I thought, what if lightning hit that house?
Uh-huh.
And
It's all-
just for a
it's-
second, and I was like, no, I didn't want that to happen.
But it doesn't matter because in that moment, the people that were in the house agreed to that experience. So it's okay.
Oh, okay.
But did
No
she, did
bad
she get,
karma.
oh, there's no bad karma?
No bad
Oh, that's
karma.
good.
There's no,
Yes,
there's
you're right.
no,
That
it
shit
doesn't
comes
work
back on
like
you.
that.
Now, Mary said that after my positive energy left the environment, and also the vortexes I took my feather and my stones, that house was now susceptible to a negative event.
Well, of course, yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a very negative place. I warned you that from the beginning.
Mhm.
You had the choice. You could have turned that whole place into something else. But you didn't. You didn't stay focused, and that's okay. That was okay. It was too much.
Yeah.
Much. But to be fair, you've got to understand you came from California. Sorry, California
And I
people.
will be making. my
But
husband,
California, your vortex there was very
and I'll
low.
let y'all know when I.
Very, very low. You cannot just jump.
Mhm.
You have to gradually change. So you couldn't just
She's
jump
better
to
in person,
West
isn't
Palm
she?
Beach
I told you.
vibration, Maria vibration. There was like to hook up with her, them guys very
Yeah.
much.
I just.
Because your
like,
vibration
also
was
use
so
others,
California,
so,
which
yeah.
was much lower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you came to a house that was kind of mid-range,
Mhm.
but you wanted
Tommy's a
to,
good
you
guy.
want it now.
He lets you down.
Wanted
He
it now.
He doesn't get jealous.
Yeah,
He
you wanna
loves you
have
and
one
trusts
now.
you. That's a
Which
good
is
man.
fine, except
That's a
you
good
just
man.
get orient,
He
and
might be
that
watching
messes
this. He might be
everything up.
watching one day.
Yeah.
So what do you got to say to
So
Tommy?
if you would have gone and
He's
if you would have
watching.
flowed with it, if you would have
There
stayed
you
in
go.
positive,
There
if you would have blown off the
It says it all.
shampoo incident, if you would have laughed off his
I don't know
come
if we
on,
should say his name.
everything would have been different.
Uh-huh.
But you didn't, you responded very negatively.
Well, we can't take it back now.
Okay, well that means that when you move
Okay.
from
Sure it's all
California
right?
to
Well, don't let him watch
you
this one.
did change
Don't let him
and
watch
raise
this
your
one.
vibrations, but you didn't raise it
Oh,
enough
yeah.
to exist.
Sure.
I didn't give no
Okay.
rights.
You're worried
Now
about
you're
it. You're
here,
worried.
now this particular
Okay.
place is
We'll give him, make a,
your,
We'll make
whenever I was putting
we'll
together
make a
your
fake name for him.
apartment,
Make
I
a
worked,
buddy or something.
I put it very neutral,
Mhm.
and I put it very safe.
Mhm.
So it is in a neutral place, you can take it wherever you want to,
Mhm.
because I don't get into the
Michelle, how
middle
many
of
got
people's
watching?
lives.
You gotta say
I
on
really
there.
don't,
Mhm.
but you are in a safe, neutral
Okay.
place over there,
No way.
so you can take it wherever you want to.
Yeah, you're right.
I would suggest,
Oh, well, we got one person.
It's the lucky one.
okay, you don't have any place to run to now. There's no need for you to panic.
Mhm.
You know, they always say if
You've got
one
place, As
person,
long as you want to, he's
That's
never
all you
gonna
need, right?
take you
that's all
out.
you need.
Mhm.
You've got food, you've got babies taken care of.
Yeah.
It's a nice, pleasant, everything you, I live there in the
I
moment,
know,
beautiful little
right?
place.
Tell me
So
more.
relax into what you love
Mhm.
and focus on that. Your chaos will dissipate.
Okay.
And then once it dissipates, once it comes down a knot, then you can turn around. Don't turn around and look at it yet.
Mhm.
But once you're in your place and you're feeling like that,
Mhm.
then turn around and look at it. But look at it from the standpoint of curiosity,
Mhm.
of objectivity,
Mhm.
of how did I do that and what did I get out of it? And what will I see it whenever I'm dead? Just think like that. Okay, what is this gonna look like if I'm dead?
Mhm.
And you'll see it a different way, and the contrast will be phenomenally beautiful.
Mhm.
And you can also see what you would rather do. Would you rather do this again, or could you do it a different way?
Is that in my bowl?
But get centered first.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
mine, so you can have it. Please, it wants to be yours.
All right,
That's a beautiful one too. That's
It
a
wants to
beautiful
be
one.
yours.
It's the energy.
da-da-da.
You're very welcome.
The rocks are very powerful. You can't really argue.
No.
So that rock betrayed you then, huh?
Oh, I brought some rocks.
Huh?
They're
That
really
was-
rocks
that
my
was your
daughter
rock,
gave
isn't
me.
Does anybody want a Coke? I've got a Coke.
You want a Coke?
They called out the kids.
I also got green drink.
Oh, no, I'm good. I have a soda. Thank you.
Suzanne, Mama, don't forget you're live
I gotta
on your
drink the
channel.
rest of it.
I know I'm live.
Yeah, can't be ignoring you, buddy. We're here.
Oh yeah, I can take this time to read the comments.
Okay, I'm out of cups. I will
Let's
have,
see.
I will have a green drink.
Okay, Storm. Let's see what they say.
Over here.
We ain't getting no feather. That's
You got a friggin' housekeeper.
I got the girl who gave the feathers, so.
Somebody, that's great advice, Naya. We can get caught up in physicality and tend to ignore vibrations and energy where the more authentic intent lies. Hi, it has a lot of wisdom. They love you. It's great seeing you guys. They're sending peace, love, and positive vibes. Thank you guys. We're gonna still keep talking here, so just watch and enjoy.
It's beautiful though, stone, isn't it?
It's the energy coming out.
Yeah.
I got that one in
Like a little
Sedona. I got that one in Sedona, and the same day I bought this one in Sedona.
That's a big ass crystal.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
'Cause I got stones in the bottom of my
Does
purse.
he love
I
this?
got them in my
So
car.
nine gave you two.
Isn't that-
You remember which one's yours and which one's Buddy's?
I think it's
I
hilarious.
put
Buddy.
tape on the
Okay, so this
I
is-
wear it in my hair when I do my shoes. And it was like pulling my hair out.
Where is it?
We
Mine's
call
in
him
my
Papa
window.
T.
There you go. Papa T.
We call him Papa T.
That's her.
And Mario
Significant
gave
other.
me it. Mario.
Oh, there's a cardinal outside.
Yeah.
They follow me now.
Yeah.
You know,
they're
What's
always
a
around me.
cardinal?
They're
red
very.
bird.
Yeah.
But a
very
hummingbird.
spiritual.
I tell you, we're outside today. A hummingbird comes right in front of Naya.
Right here.
It just kind of waves. No shit. A hummingbird.
And hummingbirds and dragonflies get me right here. They'll come right. I think they're gonna. I'll almost move, but I don't.
What did you
Hey,
say
now
the name
stop.
of that?
What,
Yeah.
what does that mean to you?
They're just coming over to see me.
What did I do?
I had one, a
Oh,
butterfly
yeah,
land
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
He
bridge of
said he
my
No
wants
nose,
way.
a picture.
and it's there for
He
about
loves girls.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
He loves girls in cowboy boots and Daisy Dukes.
So this is my stone box.
Oh, wow.
So there's Naya in
I have
miniskirt and
some
cowboy
Oh,
boots.
he's gonna love this.
She's gonna do the do-si-do for us.
Great. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is mine too.
And pieces.
I'm gonna tell him this is just for you.
I think it's
Yeah,
in
I
there.
wouldn't
Tell him I wasn't putting my boots on, just for him.
Oh, he's gonna love
She
it.
make you a
Yeah, it was
pendulum
like
or a wand?
it was a pendulum. She doesn't want it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have
go ahead. Yeah, yeah, sure.
No, oh, no, it's fine because.
Oh, I wanted to make sure.
No,
It is
okay.
getting time.
Naya smokes more than four people, so we good.
Oh, well,
Exactly.
I can beat her, so
I
I'm
can-
gonna go get mine.
I have to take Storm out.
Sure, would you like one of hers? She got a
Oh,
what is
no.
it?
No,
A
I got me
cigar.
on.
That's what Kim smokes, cigars.
I don't like it. They hurt my throat, cigars.
Yeah.
It's run, there's a, where's the fan? It's-
You put it downstairs. We got the ceiling fan, we're good.
Yeah.
Boy, Storm is quiet.
Usually.
What is that? That looks like amethyst.
It's like jade. It's green.
If that was jade, that'd be worth.
Can I buy one of your cigarettes?
No.
Yeah, you gotta buy it. Now, you said buy it, Kim, you gotta give her $5.
I will.
Why, a whole pack is $1.
That's what I'm thinking. She said she'll do it though.
I do.
You would give her $5
I
for a
really-
cigarette one.
$5.
You
I really-
crazy.
Where did you get this?
That one's not mine.
This is it.
I don't know.
Oh, he
look at
said, he
that.
says,
I
oh,
thought
nice.
that was-
He said, oh, nice.
That looks like
Nice.
something out of a
What,
cave.
not Simone's? I thought it was Simone's or Kim's. I did not
This
bring
is
that
not
beautiful
Kim's?
piece.
It looks like something out of a cave.
I know.
That's Simone.
It's Simone's. It's
Kim
from
needs,
Kyanite.
Kim needs a lighter.
It's a real similar. It's like a cleansing stone. Is what they use those for. It actually cleanses energy.
I just love
With
it.
that big ass thing's a cleansing stone?
This one, yeah, it's a very, and you can just put it anywhere and it'll cleanse the energy.
Oh, hell, I need some cleansing.
Yeah,
Let me
kyanite,
grab
I
that
believe,
thing, Naya.
is what it is. This one does the same.
Let's
I
buy
usually
one
use
of
this in
these
my stones.
Online.
Yeah, that's heavy. Shit.
That's beautiful
Yeah.
stone. You know, I just brought the ones that fit in the bowl.
This is a cleansing stone.
You cannot have too many stones around your house.
I agree.
You
Absolutely.
should buy, now that's something that you could totally buy, whatever you wanna buy. Many of them is.
Yeah, keep on going with stones. Oh, I did. Remember, Kim? I bought a box of stones. I gave you some. Why? Seashells is what I gave
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, they were seashells.
What about seashells?
Seashells are okay, but there is that, well, it is the skeleton of a dead thing, so.
But the Gulf of Mexico gave me a sand dollar one day.
Did it?
I was
If
on
you've
the
got it,
beach.
it agrees to it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the beach and I've been back and forth many times between, and then the last time I went up, it was just like right there, the perfect sand dollar.
That's awesome.
You got it with you?
No, I didn't bring it. No, they're very
It's probably-
fragile.
Yeah, very.
They're very
Oh, okay.
fragile.
I wouldn't. All right, what other questions
Hey,
do
baby,
you have?
I'll be
G-Man,
here.
Kim?
Kim, any questions?
normally
You got
are-
9 right here.
I had
Question,
them two
people.
questions about the
What about
non-yellow
RJ? You had a
bird
question about RJ. Remember when he did the ear thing? And then right
shit. Oh
after.
yeah, she already told me he was he
Okay, so we're
he
good
was a
then.
high functioning starseed or prison
I
type.
know you got a question for Naya because you're always like, I gotta ask Naya this.
I don't think I would tell him already.
Oh, okay.
It's the pressure. She's feeling
Yeah, that's what it
pressure.
is.
RJ's
Zen mom, you got a question?
This
for
is-
her?
I always
he was a
got a
high
question.
functioning. RJ's a
Yeah, that's
second,
my kind of-
second
Cyanide, that's what I
starseed.
thought.
I want one.
What?
Yeah,
She's
I
like-
found that, and my shaman friend, the one that lives in North Carolina,
Yeah.
South Carolina,
South Carolina.
she was like, to do cord cutting, get a kyanite. And so I went to the store, and she said, get the wand. She didn't tell me I could get it like a tiny one.
I got this one. Yeah, I have a little one.
And then
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
the same
this, and I
thing.
couldn't not
Absolutely.
get it.
Oh,
Like,
no, it's beautiful.
it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
attached to me from when I tried to put it down because it was like
Mine seems
26.
like
I've never
that.
spent $26 on a stone. I was just like,
Oh, that
I
was worth
can't
every
get this.
penny.
Oh, yeah.
I
Put it
couldn't
down.
get
That
this,
was
but
a
then
great
something
price.
made me
So
get
say
it.
that's-
I
I
just-
have-
I easily got one.
Jeez, that's a good price.
That's a
sweetie.
very good price.
You got that
It
for
was,
a
Baby,
it was
steal.
a wholesale store too.
You got
Give
that
me a
for a
thumbs
steal.
up if you are.
Okay, so what's your question? Hit
You
me.
said you always got questions for her.
Hit
What?
me.
Put her on
Yes,
the
I always got a question.
Put her on the
Let me
spot.
go.
About RJ.
Yeah.
So you told me G-Man was here, but I don't know if he was paying attention about him being a high functioning starseed.
And those who don't know, RJ is her son.
Yeah, I didn't know who RJ was.
RJ is her son, and he came in very, very high vibration, starseed, but couldn't take it. He didn't last.
I could
So
feel
he left, and a walk-in came in. Walk-in came in and wanted a little bit more interesting experience. So he was a little bit more trouble for mom. But the earliest child that she had would have been, it was very painful for the original
I
starseed.
could
He
feel
was,
his. I tried to miscarry like 3 times, and I kept him alive, but I could feel his spirit and his presence when I was pregnant with him.
yeah,
which I
he's
didn't feel
very,
with
very
the other
high. That was really kind of
Really?
an
You didn't feel that with
experiment
Brandon or
to see, oh no, Brandon came in.
so
Brandon's long-term.
so the second RJ is that a starseed or a long term?
Second one is still starseed, but he's better vibration. He fits better.
Better
here.
fit, yeah.
Better fits him. He definitely, like most starseeds.
So everybody here is
has
starseed
He's
except
still
me,
got
right?
a lot of
Everybody.
the same vibrations
Right.
the
Yeah,
original
starseed,
RJ.
yeah.
Yeah, G-Man is a human.
No.
I'm the outcast. That's right. That's
Earthman.
right. That's right.
You know, you
Yeah.
said he had.
Half the time he says all of this is
I had
bullshit
a
anyway.
dream that he died.
But then they always
Here we
prove
are
you
in
wrong.
the
No, we
They
always
prove
prove
you
And the
wrong.
dream was like so
Every
real. I
time.
was like begging God,
You've
please
obviously
bring it.
attracted
And
all
the
of
dream
us.
was
Yeah.
so
We're here at
real.
your house.
And
Yeah,
I
he is
knew
the
it
reason
was-
that we're all
I woke up
together.
in the dream, it was just
But
a
it's all
dream,
bullshit.
So
That's when he left.
that's when he
That's
left.
when he left.
So
Yes,
I
and
knew
no.
that he had
No,
Yeah,
died.
same time.
Well, he left.
Sometimes I'm like,
He's
still
yeah.
there.
But no, I've seen.
You'll see him
I
again.
see
He just
miracles
couldn't
with Naya.
handle it.
Oh, when
I
I was
got
around.
videos
This
of
one I'm
mine.
just as
I got
close
videos
to.
of
Do him and the other one get along?
They're friends. That was definitely it was kind of an experiment to see how high the first one. He wanted to see if he could come in higher and exist.
That's you.
And the second one was a plan. If he couldn't do it, then he would be ready to step in. So that was done in tandem. They did that together. They're very good friends. Yeah. Very good.
Because, but I know that I could feel his spirit when I was pregnant. I felt his vibration. And I'm like, this is really weird. I didn't feel the other two.
Yeah, well, he left you, didn't he? He left your ass.
I had that dream. She said that dream.
That's what it was. It was a dream. That's what it was.
No, it really happened.
Yeah, that's when he left. When
Yeah,
she
'cause I
dreamed
was-
that he died.
Oh, so
he
it was
left.
just like when you saw me, right? It wasn't really a dream. It was more like a.
Real,
But this,
yeah, it was a
but
real
this
thing.
dream
It was
was really, really real.
Wait,
I was
wait.
begging God to let it be a
What
dream.
about when you saw me before the car wreck?
Because I think he was gonna
Okay,
die
obviously she's
originally,
not going to answer me. So.
but instead they let another mom.
See,
in.
Right.
she
I
made
didn't
that-
We
handle
didn't
it.
die.
She made that
There's no
up, didn't
such
she?
thing as dying.
No.
Well,
Just like
I mean,
that.
yeah.
For you, he died for you in this world.
So Kim, you didn't
So that's how
dream
you-
about me?
I dreamed that you came, or you didn't. I didn't dream. You came to me, and I saw you.
But it was more like a vision, right? It was
Yeah,
more
it was a
real.
vision right before I woke up.
I
I didn't
started-
come
I
out of
didn't
my
say a
dream
word.
state.
I started laughing.
Oh, you came out of the dream state.
I was
Yeah, it was
Oh,
right
I
before I
just don't
woke
say
up.
it.
Now, did you
I
know
didn't
that I had
do
already
said,
wrecked, or
really,
did you-
that's the way
Yeah.
Okay.
it is. Seriously.
But now you know why I
So,
came.
Comment, I didn't say.
Because you dragged my ass back here. She dragged me here the first time. She dragged me back the
Where we
second
were,
time.
I was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, it's all your damn fault.
Well, best friends gotta drive best friends.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're not right, Naya.
Absolutely, I have no idea what you're
I
saying.
know. You're just playing along.
Yes and no.
Some will
And maybe.
some will try to mess with
But
time
not
and
really.
get home by 7.
That's good.
I'll try
You
to
get home by
mess with
8.
time.
How long
I
does it
would
take
say
you to
I'm
drive?
folding time.
About
Where do
3
you
hours.
live?
3 hours.
I live in Payson.
She used to live right down the road.
I don't know what page one is. What's
I still don't understand.
It's
the
Charlotte.
40 minutes from
The
Charlotte.
timeline thing?
No, the folding time thing. I mean,
Yeah, you
sometimes
didn't
I
have
feel
all that
like I
travel
got more
from
time
Monday to
than
go.
I
But
had.
But he
Sometimes
lives,
Slow down
he
time,
lives
speed
right
up
there
time.
on the North
Like the
Carolina,
drive.
South
Wasn't that a long-ass
Carolina
drive?
line. We're like,
Yeah,
See, that is
I didn't fold
slow.
time at all.
You
just
stretch
on
time.
down from Spartanburg.
Yeah.
You
I used to
extend
work in
time.
They made that shit slow.
But now I used to live in Clinton.
But
But
you
our dad
can,
still
you
lives
can,
in
you
Clinton.
just like,
That's like 1990.
you just
Five or
visualize
something.
that you're, like, I pick a
Makes me
time.
You used to work
I'll
here?
usually pick a time or a
Spartanburg.
town.
No way.
And
I was an
say,
iron worker,
okay,
so
I'm
I'd
at
go around and
that
work jobs.
time.
No
I'm
way.
now
Yeah, I
at
was like
that time.
95.
I'm now at
Wow.
that
She
town.
was in
And then I
Spartanburg.
just don't think
For
about
about
anything.
6 months,
I
my
listen
job
to
got-
music.
Did you like Spartanburg?
It was
Listen to
very
my
hot that
video,
summer.
I can set my video
So
up and
property.
watch,
And I worked the whole time,
TV,
so I didn't
and then
really.
Yeah, right.
I'll
Yeah.
wait,
She's
and I'll just
really
get this
working on her,
feeling to look up.
pictures there.
Mhm.
And I look up and there's the town or there's the town.
And what else?
Mhm.
And what else you got to
And I
say?
just keep doing it. One
I
right after
love
the
you,
other.
baby.
There you go. That's good.
It's a
That's
whole
good.
lot
He may not
easier
be
way to
watching.
We'll
travel.
watch it.
Yeah, I sent him a
Once you
link.
get
He
the
got
habit.
So y'all ready for my question?
Yes. Yes.
So, you know, I have millions of questions and I just don't know which one to decide on. But I have taken up an interest in extraterrestrials.
Interesting.
Yeah. You know, I watched a video by Gigi Young, you know, she's into
Yeah, yeah.
the galactic. And so, I don't know, something told me to watch this video she posted yesterday about water. And she was saying how water is pretty much like a rock to other interdimensional beings, that they can read everything, like the energy about what life forms will come out of this water later. They can do future projections. And so, and I started to think about the higher consciousness, the extraterrestrials. And remember when I was in ayahuasca, I saw that being, I named her Seneca, the prism lady.
Mhm.
And then the session before last, I saw a being, she was coming out of the ground and her skin was metallic green. And the ground was metallic green. And I wasn't sure
About the color of
where
that
she
shirt.
separated from the ground, or if the ground was the body, or if she was a mermaid. And for one moment, it's like I walked by and I glanced through a door and I saw her, the 3D image of her when I walked outside. And it's there for a second and gone. Like almost so quick that I was like, did I really see that? But then again, it was so detailed that I could not see it. And so like, was that like an extraterrestrial?
I would prefer, of course, you can do whatever you want because you are a creator God.
Mhm.
But if you say extraterrestrial, that will draw you to 4D beings within the game.
Okay, I don't want that.
And that's not who you saw.
Mhm.
What you're starting to see is you're starting to see other games. That metallic being in that metallic earth is a completely different game than this. It operates under completely different rules.
Just like the prison door.
But
lady?
yes, but you have to get rid of all of the rules that are here in this game to be able to see the other games. You have to completely say, these are not here. I am open to anything.
Mhm.
I completely am open to anything. I know you're out there, show me.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you'll go and you'll see
Which
their
is it?
games. And the
Okay.
more open you are to it, the more you'll see.
So instead of seeing a glimpse, I can walk into
You can
it.
walk into it, you can talk to them,
I
you can
do.
play with it.
Really?
That's what I do.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
become one of them. You can change the
Uh-huh.
way you are.
It's so real.
It is,
It
because
is
it's
real.
real.
You got that click now. I'm believing you a lot more now.
I know it's hard.
I mean, I believed you.
I'm not offended, I promise. I am not offended.
Now, her,
Mhm.
she's exceptional because she can. There are magical creatures here on this planet as we speak that are 5D beings.
Uh-huh.
She can play with them. She can see them. She plays with them. She can also, in meditative state, leave this game and go to many other games with other what you would consider magical beings. Now, where they are, they don't consider themselves magical beings.
Mhm.
They just consider themselves beings.
Mhm.
That's normal for them.
Mhm.
But she can go any of them. She can go all of them. So can Stephanie.
Mhm.
They both do the same thing. So they don't stay
I
here.
just waving at the camera.
Oh, okay.
You're still on, so.
They don't stay here. These guys don't stay here. they leave the game.
Mhm.
And that is how they have fun.
Mhm.
And immeasurable fun.
Okay, wait. When you said these guys, I missed that part. Who are you talking
Michelle.
about?
Steph.
Her and Steph.
Her. Okay.
Her and Steph.
Me
The
and Steph hang
reason,
out a lot.
Okay.
a lot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Out of body and.
Yeah, that's the reason why Stephanie does not date. She doesn't have.
She has more
she
fun on the other
doesn't-
side.
Absolutely.
I think I'd like that
Absolutely.
too.
But the only way that you can do that is to be completely non-judgmental and completely open to whatever.
Mhm.
Because those places have completely different guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
They are so different, you can't even explain them.
They don't have
Naya
ego? Do they have
explains
ego?
them better than I could ever try.
Do those creatures have ego? Or
Oh, hell no.
Okay,
No,
No,
like,
So it's
no.
much higher consciousness.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
wait, none of them have ego.
No, it's not
no.
this game.
Okay.
It's not like,
this.
So
there's
you
no,
leave this game completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
How often you do that?
all the time,
Most of the time.
most of the
I'm
time.
half there right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I know that. I felt like that on ayahuasca. Like I was in the other dimension, and then I was here.
It's not a
At the same
question of
time.
whether or not she is or not. She always is. The question is how much of her is there
And how much is
and how much
aware
is
of it.
here. She's aware of all of it.
Yeah. Well,
The,
with me,
the
it's
question
like,
is how much does she have to keep here to keep her human heart going? So, which is the reason why most of the time this is what most people see of Michelle. And you guys think that she's a very simple person. In reality, you don't know what she's
She's
doing.
so complex.
And because she is out playing, doing things that you can't imagine, which is why immediately I saw that. When I first met her, I knew it. I knew it instantly, and I went, "Oh my God, I love her! I love her! I love her so much." She's really good at describing them. I'm not very good at that
Did you
because
see the
I
fits on
see
mine right there?
vibration. So, but she describes them like Mario's girlfriend. Because we were doing Mario's thing, and I said, "Where's?" I could see Mario's girlfriend. She said, "Yeah, he's right. She's right there. She looks like a peacock, reaching out to try to touch him." And I looked again. And I went, "Oh my goddamn, that does look like a peacock." So she's really good at taking human beings and transfer them into what those things look like. To me, they don't look
That's
like
why
anything.
when I was on ayahuasca, I got to a point where I felt like the patterns were on my body and was uncomfortable, and I jumped in the bathtub. And she said she saw me go into the ocean,
Mhm.
and I was. She said I got all muddy. I went into the ocean and cleansed off, and that totally correlated to how I was feeling muddy. I got into the bathtub and I cleansed off.
And you gotta, whenever you go in those worlds, you use English words because that's all we got.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why a lot of NDEers come back and they say things differently. It's because you use what you've got to
Mhm.
explain something that's not here.
Yeah,
That's so unlike anything here. You do the best you can.
yeah,
So I don't ever have any judgment on anybody that's done an NDE or ayahuasca because they're doing the best they can
yeah,
to explain things that are not explainable.
yeah,
They're just things that aren't explainable
yeah.
here. Because the rules are so defined here, they're
Wait,
so
Jim, because you
rigid.
got a lot of stuff on the screen there.
Everything is rigid here.
Yeah, I'll fool you. I'll fool you.
I have 8 people watching. Hi, subscribers. Thanks for tuning in.
I see you a lot, Simone, and you won't know I'm there.
Thanks,
I
man.
shape
My-
shift a lot.
My other side, or you come to
We'll get
my
her going.
I see you a lot, and you just don't recognize me.
you shape shift to like what? Please don't tell me you was at
Anything.
bug last night.
Literally,
The bug.
literally
She
anything.
doesn't, she does not stay in one form.
No, it's not.
It's
fun.
not
I
like
saw a
that.
bug the size of Storm's foot.
Damn.
I had to kill it. I felt so bad. I was just like,
Oh, but don't feel bad.
It was the
Don't feel
size of
bad.
an
Talk
apple.
about
It
bugs and
wanted to
killing.
die.
No. What I do is in my house, I make a blanket statement, wherever I am, here too. I make a blanket statement. I said, this is where I live. You can live outside. I will assume that if you are inside, living in my space,
You want to die?
that you want to go to the other side. And I will be more than happy to oblige. I will do it quickly, painlessly, and let you go. So that's the rule.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
if they come in my space, that's to me, that's, will you please, giant human,
I tried to
smash
leave him
me
alone,
so
but
I
he
can
flew
leave.
to me.
I carried a Madagascar cockroach around with me
Uh-huh.
at this big reptile thing, and I had so much fun playing with kids.
Yeah,
I
I
had,
can look at this
and it was
picture
the
and get
sweetest little thing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
I
it was
see- I
just
see
so
now.
sweet.
Oh, I
I
want to
know,
see
it was-
one of those.
You have to look at the picture of it. They're really cool. And
Well, I've seen them in
was
pictures, but
crawling.
then they could like put them all over.
oh, they're really nice. He crawled off on my arm, and
How
it was
cool.
probably about this long.
When you shape
Come
shift,
on.
do you go out of body and then shift into something, or you actually?
I'm everywhere at once, really.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
Just
probably not
think,
paying attention.
it's just like, it's not like that.
So
It's
Michelle-
more, It's
Before
more
my
like
wreck,
you
you
expand.
and I went for a walk.
Okay,
You
And
expand.
we seen the
So
ducks or
this is
something.
still there, but you've got more of you,
Before I
so you
heard
can do
about
other
it,
things with it.
okay, you're
So
more
it's in
in
my
tune and
garage,
attached
right,
to your spirit.
to
your core
everything.
spirit,
And
yeah.
I
To
was
the
just
all
sitting there and I was
together.
getting ready to
So
eat,
once
I
you
get a new
really
train.
bring
Right.
back what you know in ayahuasca, when
And
you're in
you never come
ayahuasca,
to
you
me
know you're
before.
part of everything.
Mm.
You know that
So,
you are all.
I
I
was
don't even
curious.
question it.
No, it's not.
And
It's
I
and
looked
it's
like
so
you,
of
and you looked
course.
like you.
Of course. Why would I think
And
anything else?
you took my
When you
hand,
bring that
and we just
back,
walked. We didn't
you
talk.
can use that same
And it was just a beautiful
thinking
day.
that you are all that is. So that guy that's threatening you is a part of you.
Mhm.
So you can start to go to a part of you that's him that works with you instead of against you. But when you
And
get
then
scared, you
we got
automatically go to the negative
And
version
then we walked
Yeah.
all the
of
sunset.
you because he's a part of
And
you.
then
I'm
I
a part
came
of
out
you.
of the train.
She's a part of you. The house
And
is a part of
Simone
you.
had
Yeah.
Everything's a part
written
of you.
about 30 seconds out.
Yeah, you know, that's what I was
We were at
thinking,
the
like,
car right
Wow.
next door.
You were telling me how I created
That's
him in
something
my
I would do.
reality.
I love
And
taking
I was thinking,
walks.
didn't I
And when she
create you
said
in my
that, I
reality
didn't
too?
say anything.
Well, what
And I
it's
just like-
it's not really a creation of.
I
Whenever you
didn't
got
want to like
Yes,
put that out
okay.
there
Yeah.
Make a left.
because of
what
how
what
we
it
just spent
what
time
it really
together.
more
I think there was a
is
choice, right,
there's
that
a
went
bunch
through
of
that.
us that's a part
It
of the
felt
whole
like you were just
Uh-huh.
resting
that have
in it.
our
Yeah.
the parts
No,
that we're
that's-
playing,
And we didn't talk at
and
all.
you send
It
out
was just
an
like,
invitation
like
Mhm.
touch.
for good or bad.
Like right now,
The invitation
just
is
Just
made,
like that.
Mhm.
and
Not-
some
not-
aspect of you,
Just not
which
saying
is
anything,
me,
just-
will volunteer
that's
to play the
beautiful.
role.
Almost like
Mhm.
a
We jump
telepathy.
Okay.
And so, do you
It
actually
wasn't a bad
technically
thing, though.
create
It was
it?
a lovely
No,
thing.
it's more like you
And
create
then
the
I heard you in that
circumstance.
Oh, okay.
car
You
wreck.
create
And they were all
circumstance.
tanning.
The
and I was like,
perspective.
oh.
You're creating a new perspective
And I
of
didn't say anything to
everything,
anybody
because
about
everything
it
is
till
already
So
here.
you
There's
sensed that I
nothing
was
new
gonna
ever.
go on?
Yeah.
Everything has always been everything
So you had no
wants to be.
idea.
The question is how you
Okay.
put the everything
Wow.
together to create
And also
a
at
new
night,
and
in the middle of the
unusual
night when you
event.
had your
Mhm.
back,
or
I
experience.
didn't know
That's
any
what
of this
everybody's
together.
trying to do.
When I found out what
They're
time
trying to
it
create
was,
experiences
I
that are
was up
different
most of the night
from
painting.
any
It was
perspective
very
that we can
Yeah.
figure
And I
out.
did another painting
So
that I didn't
anything, what you do
bring.
is
And
you
it reminded
create
me of a
you
rescue person.
that will look through those eyes
Wow.
and
Like a
see
calm,
things
like,
a
right.
different way than I will.
I'll show you a
Yeah.
picture
And I
of the
create
one.
this
Okay.
I call it
persona
rescue.
so that I look through these eyes and I see the same
And
circumstance,
I believe
but
that's
I
part
see
of
it
the
differently.
sense. You just
And
do the
between the
thing
two of us, now we've got new perspectives
And I
that
think
are
I was
ours.
Yeah.
So that was,
Yours
that was,
was
that
mine.
was really nice.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
was
what
like
we're doing.
about Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
want.
why there is no
And
such
then when I
thing as
heard, I
there.
didn't hear about all
It's
that
all
until later, so
perspective.
I started thinking about
We're
it.
just
I
adding to
did
that
night
whole,
before.
we're just
Uh-huh.
looking at it. It's like
I thought
having a
that
great
was the
big
people that were
kitchen
trying to
with
do that.
every
Yeah,
kind of
that probably was,
ingredient that you
absolutely.
imagine.
That's when I
If you
came
take
conscious.
this and
They
this
were
and
working
this
on
and
me
you
in
create
Jaws of
You
this
Life.
saw them,
beautiful
and then
gourmet
somehow
meal.
it still was me at my house.
Nothing has been
And I was
added to
throwing
that.
up. I
You
called
just put things
mysteries with
together in a
cups,
certain way
where
and
they
it's
took a
something
bunch of
cool and
paint and
new.
was throwing on
But
paint.
nothing's
And
new.
it was
Yeah.
like,
But that's what we're
beautiful
doing.
paint.
We're taking
Nothing
things that are
And it
there,
actually looked like
nothing's
a
new under
man,
the sun.
like a
It's just how you
fireman.
put it together.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful
So
story.
that we
I'll,
create it in a
I'll find that
cool
picture
way.
in a little while and I'll show it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
What y'all talking about?
Pretty amazing stuff,
We
really.
make heats and
Everything is
Oh, okay.
amazing.
Okay, thanks, Kim.
I was telling him about, when he was in the hospital at first.
Yeah, that'd be real nice, thank
That's
you.
what we're doing.
You are just so
Also,
nice, you know
the
that?
night before I figured it
I've
out,
got to go.
2 or 3
Oh,
hours.
man.
It's like a man with a rescue hat.
Uh-huh.
I
Well,
think
it's
that was
been
him
fun.
connecting with me and the people getting
I'm gonna
there.
get some of those lemons.
Probably.
Let's
Sure.
see.
Grab,
Yeah.
grab some.
I kept wanting to call it a cop or a fireman.
Where are they at?
Both are there.
I'm gonna get some lemons before I go. A couple
Please,
of lemons.
get a whole bunch of them, sweetie.
They might wanna.
You like what?
Oh, we got plenty.
Way out of body.
There's probably 30 or
Really,
40
way out of
lemons
body.
in there.
Oh,
Kim.
way out of body.
Who went
Okay.
where?
Take a dozen at least, sweetie.
You?
Okay.
Did you go to the higher
Where's
rounds?
your bag?
We went all over the
G-Man?
place.
Wow.
He just doesn't remember
You
it
gave it to
yet.
me.
So-
Where's your bags at?
Ayahuasca will make you remember. I went back into an old dream once.
Oh, yeah?
It was frozen, and I could walk through the people, and I just saw the whole dream. Then I saw it move this
Yeah, I
way.
have it in the car.
Man, you see everything.
If you handing it out.
One of these days, maybe. I don't know, it scares me, but.
Oh, well, you definitely want to ask your body.
Yeah, you definitely.
You want to ask your body first if it wants to. And if your body says no,
Then
then,
don't
then
do it.
respect
Probably
it.
right now, I think no.
Because,
All the
your
trauma
body
I've been
is
through.
Yeah.
another thing. You got to
Yeah.
ask it.
You,
And
when
you
you
will
feel
do-
ready, that means it's ready for you.
Exactly.
No, there will be a call to it that's so strong. That's like a woman who has an urge whenever she is pregnant. You just can't ignore it.
Yeah,
It's
my
so
call was
strong.
that.
Just you can't get it out of your mind. When that
That's what
happens,
you.
It came to
It's
me in a vision, as a memory. As I took it, I wanted to do it. Next thing you know, I was on the phone with a shaman. I had it that weekend.
Wow.
I was dreaming
You don't
of going
waste
to
no
Costa
time.
Rica. And I was just
I was
thinking, I'll
trying to-
never be able to afford it. And I was like, forget it.
That's it. I was working on it for years.
And it came to me.
For
Where's your
years
bags
and
at? Your
years.
little
I was.
Follow bags.
Don't know.
But I did the same thing. I
Find
went
some.
top of the fridge. I can't get the Peru.
Trash can by
I
yourself.
can't get the Peru.
Yeah, I looked it up and I went $5,000. Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you know,
On
listen
the-
to
on top of
what
the
I felt I needed that experience, but
Or
like,
is that
why
got
does it
something
only
that's
happen
found
for the
there,
rich? No.
Yeah,
You can have
If it's time for you to have it, it comes to you.
Oh yeah. And it isn't at all. You do not. I guarantee you, whatever you think you're gonna do, you're probably not gonna do.
But then
I
Mario
got
have a
some-
specific mix?
No, I
in
got
Yeah,
something to
I do
call
not
for.
think so because everybody. Because I've done it with a lot of people now.
This was like no
And
other.
I swear to God, whatever it is they wanted to do, it didn't happen. Something else happened.
Mario's was like no other one that
That was
Oh,
intense,
yeah.
man. That was the most intense
I kept
thing.
helping out.
I can't wait to
Oh
see
my
that.
God.
See this stuff.
Nah, I got something to
Where'd
call.
you get
Yeah.
lemons at? There's a
Well,
lemon
he
tree?
damn near did because he went to the corner, but he's still
Oh, okay,
working it.
cool.
He is still, he has put everything
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got.
You leaving now?
Yeah, I've got a long drive. All right.
Masculine.
Thanks
I
for
have
coming.
never
You're
seen anybody
welcome.
work
Smells so
harder in
good.
my
I was
life.
determined.
You got your
It was, I
product
told him, I
amazing?
said, this is what it's like. It's like you were stomping like this with your eyes
He would
like
not look
this.
at me at all.
Wouldn't look to the right, wouldn't look to the left. He
Yeah, I
was
hope to
marching.
see you soon.
Call
I
me
will see
anytime.
you soon.
You will
I
see me
will.
again. You will see me
And I
again.
have something to call for you.
Well, Brandon,
Let me see your
it.
painting.
Don't just leave it out there, go get it.
These are the pub friends.
I know, I haven't got to see it up close.
okay.
And I didn't finish this until
This
it's
one
hot.
had a profound effect on me.
How hot is it at your house?
Like,
It's
I,
been 102.
it's like I've seen these
Last
before. I've
It's
known
about
these all
heating
along.
in my garage. I'm on the
They're
wrong
my
side of the
friends.
house.
Oh,
They're my
So that it
buddies.
doesn't blow me
I had no
good.
idea energy,
hot.
this is
Then I put the
energy
gloves on
beams.
and start painting.
That's
Energy
Yeah.
beams.
that's how I look. That's how I hang out. Only it's a lot brighter.
See, I prefer to paint
Like
energy
brighter.
beams.
Well,
Did you know this was an energy beam when you painted it?
I just paint.
Oh,
And
okay.
then she,
Didn't
I,
really know.
I snapped a picture of it. I put it on our chat that we all
Yeah.
have.
And I freaked out.
And then all of us, and I was actually in the
I
middle of
freaked
taking
out
another
too,
one.
not as much as you probably. but
Oh,
I
not
just-
near as much as me. I mean, I totally.
I was
started
beside myself how I
crying.
was connected to a painting. I was just like,
That's
well,
her pub, that's her
good.
pub friends,
It's
right
my
there.
pub friends.
Yeah.
They don't have names, or I'd name them because
When
they
I
don't
was,
have
it says
names
no
on
take
there.
device. When I was in college,
Only if you can imagine, all of that is light. It's bright light. It's not paint. It's light. All those colors and all that movement. It's all light.
yeah, that's what it felt like in the higher realms. Like I saw the designs like that, but it was all light.
It's all light.
Like
And
everything
it's
was
good
like
even
light.
after you cook them and you got leftovers to put them in a pan with some barbecue
Ken, we
sauce.
got
and
no place to
bacon.
put that.
Well, I'll figure it out.
Oh, you can put them in baggies and
I
put them in the
will.
freezer.
I had no plans
And
to
that
do it.
way,
And
but they're
then
not
Ryan calls
cooked.
me.
They're like
She's like, hey, you want to go ayahuasca? And I'm like,
You're so.
And you don't
I
like
got
it.
to eat the dog.
I didn't, I knew, so I was like, sure.
Eat the dog.
And then
Yes,
so I
the
did it.
dog
Hey,
eats
Kim.
everything.
Are you sure about that? That's very expensive.
What?
What you just gave Naya.
She's being sweet.
I got
saying
Very
that
sweet.
boxes.
That's very sweet,
I
thank
don't,
you.
I don't think me and Papa T gonna have room for all the other stuff I got. in
Well,
the
that is so
freezer.
nice of you.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
Kim just, was that the
Sweet
pork
girl.
chops or the,
Chicken tenders.
oh, chicken
The
tenders?
chicken, yeah, the restaurant
We
sell
will definitely
$9 a box.
We will eat those up before you know it then.
Nice, thank
Well, Inca will too.
Yes.
Yeah, Inka loves chicken.
Inca
Yeah,
loves chicken.
absolutely.
So,
She had chicken today.
yeah, but after we had cooked them, we had some leftovers. We put them in a pan and baked them on the grill in barbecue sauce, and they were so good.
That would be good.
We
We
will
made
do
little
I
that.
got a grill, I got a
Sandwiches.
grill outside too. I ain't used it yet, so. You know,
I
the big-
definitely
I love you
want
guys.
those.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a while since I
okay.
done it, but yeah, I love to grill.
I don't want
What about it?
Like
What
that.
tell me
Yeah.
the story
Yeah,
behind
I like
it.
grill.
That
Sure.
just feels
I'll tell you
like
when you
probably the
Let's go
most
do it right now.
massively strong.
I
love you guys.
I love you too.
Thanks,
It's so
Kim.
nice to
All
meet
right,
you.
I love
Now, what
you.
can I do with this?
Oh,
Hold it for the rest of your life.
And you have fun too.
Don't ever
Have
put
a
it
fun
down.
drive
What's
back.
for dinner tip?
Have a fun drive back.
Um,
Good seeing the
You
sidekick.
too, son.
Divine
And
masculine.
say goodbye to Papa T.
I will.
Um,
Papa.
Tell him, I'll let him know when I get his painting from him.
It's very good at
Oh, thank
He might be
you.
watching.
organizing,
Oh, I'll let you know when
vibration,
you're painting
lighting
today.
them
I
up,
haven't done it yet, but as
fixing
soon as I get
that,
back and I catch some loose
chaos,
ends, I'll be able to get back in the flow
anti-chaos, like
and do the
anti-chaos.
painting
Yeah, they said
the
this
way
aligns
that
the
you would love it.
Well, that's
Good deal.
bullshit.
And then
You don't
you
even have it.
All right, you be
All
good.
right.
I
Love
love
you
you,
guys.
Thank you so
Have a fun
much.
drive.
Thank you.
Thank you for the chicken tenders.
Oh, you're
Well, that's
welcome.
Thank you so
that's
much.
a-
That'll help
duality.
Yeah, it will,
Uh,
definitely,
That's
thank
way
you.
down. That was a way long time ago. Should I put them in
Wait,
your
wait.
chakras for what?
If
So
it'll
it
fit,
collapses.
we're
Me
ready.
or everybody?
Good
No,
stuff.
part of the people that are lower, they still have chakras, especially if they keep saying, I've got chakras, I've got chakras. Is it
So since I'm
frozen?
awakening, my
Yeah, they are
chakras are
frozen.
collapsed.
Oh dear, in the process, yeah, in the process of your awakening, they collapse into your high heart. Right now, there's a high, they're all in high.
Okay, but I still feel my solar plexus sometimes. with my
Well, it may
confidence.
pop down there, but it'll come right back up.
Okay.
Men, don't fight it, cause that's a division, you know, that's a dividing of, you know, when you're trying to collapse to go back to oneness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, chakras collapsing into oneness is part of the deal. So the more
Oh.
you fight it into separating them out, you're fighting oneness. Because oneness is a collapsing into one.
Okay.
So all those,
Simone, chakras are shocking.
I just thought, so I've been working on a meditation that I wanted to give my subscribers, a chakra healing meditation, but you just gave me an idea, is I'm gonna change to collapse meditation.
collapse the chakras.
And then
Yeah,
that's what I would
collapse
give
them.
to my subscribers.
Yes,
Yes.
collapse the chakras into the high heart. It's about right here.
Uh-huh.
And this goes directly
Everybody,
to the sun.
We're here live
and
with
then
Naya,
the sun to the
Zen Mommy,
central
and
sun,
Michelle.
central sun
So,
source.
just
and
kick
then
back.
What's the difference between the sun and the
And
central
down
sun?
Well, the sun is our sun.
Uh-huh.
And the central sun is the big dog. He's the middle of the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's connected directly to source energy.
Okay.
So you go, you ground into the earth,
Uh-huh.
come up through yourself to the high heart, then to the sun,
Mm-hmm.
then sun goes to the central sun goes to source.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, you need to do it like it's like this. The energy's like this. Comes down like this, all the way through everything I just said,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll flip in the core of earth, and then it'll come back up and it'll curl the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And those two curls are coming through your body all the way up, all the way down. When you do that, everything that's in your body will start to align based on that thing right there.
Okay.
And eventually it'll form a vortex and you can actually become one with that thing. When that happens, on those moments, ooh, you're having a nice day.
Wow.
That feels
I
really
want to do that
good.
every day now. I gotta make this meditation.
That feels really
Finally
good.
got an idea. I've been thinking of like, wait, what I'm gonna do a course on, what I'm gonna do a book on, how I'm gonna do a meditation. Victor Oda was like, just channel a meditation.
Just do the damn thing.
And I'm just like, I
There's
don't know how to do it. How do I work on my confidence? That's the question I have.
Well, what you need to do is work it and stop falling off the bandwagon, man. That's your issue. You start thinking too much. You
Yeah.
start thinking about what
Yeah.
could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is your downfall. You start letting the ego take over. Thank you, ego, very much for all you've done for me, but I got this now. You ride on my back, shoulder for a while. See what I can do. Give me a chance. That's what you say
And
to
the
your
ego will listen.
Absolutely. You're in charge. If you tell it to, but you cannot push the ego away. You cannot get rid of the ego. He will win every time if you do that. You can't get rid of him. You've got to reason with him. You've got to love him. He is a part of you. And you would never treat someone else like that, how you're treating your ego. So the more you fight it, he was born to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was built on, was fighting. That's how he's kept you safe. He's
Mhm.
fighting. You don't want to fight the ego. You'll lose.
Mm-hmm.
But you absolutely can reason with him. It's very logical.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say, look, this is my new plan. Give me a chance. Let me see if this works. Tell him about law of attraction. Tell him about, let me see if we can not think about yesterday.
So he can listen
Not
if I
plan.
thought about talking to him about, look, if we do this, we're gonna be in a better position.
Exactly.
We won't need to protect you as
Exactly.
hard. We can just be happy.
Yes.
And so it can listen when I
Yes,
say that.
absolutely. And when he jumps, but when he knee jerks, you knee jerk with him. And you need to stop knee jerking with him. When something bad happens, he goes, oh my God, this had happened. And you go, you're right, he could. No, that's not what you do. You sit yourself down. When he says, oh, this could happen, you go, hey, dude, I got this. And he'll come back and calm down. But you can't knee jerk with him. Well, he'll win, and there's a catastrophe. It falls apart.
Yeah.
You've got to keep yourself knowing that you got this.
Mm-hmm.
Every moment, if you will remember, every thought that comes out of that pretty little head of yours goes to law of attraction and you create with it. Every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You are that powerful. You are a fucking god. Every thought matters.
Mm-hmm.
So if your happiness is the most important thing to you, you become adamant adamant, nobody touches what I think. Nobody.
Mhm.
My thinking is mine, and you don't have a right to touch it. I don't care what you say to me.
Mhm.
I don't care what you do to me. I don't care what you threaten me with, because I know that if I do that, you win. My life goes to shit, and I'm not doing it anymore.
Mhm.
So guess what? You can be right all you want. You can be right all day long. I'm staying happy.
Mhm.
You want to argue with me?
Is that with the ego?
Yeah.
Yeah. I distract mine when it starts getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
I just
you
distract it. I could go
Like
play.
that,
I
like
send
that
it out
right
to
there.
chase balloons. I'll be like, go play. I treat it like a little kid.
Yeah, and it is very simple-minded, and it's very, very simple-minded, but it is powerful beyond belief, especially if you give it power.
Mhm.
But if you remember, every time you do that, your life is gonna go to shit. All of a sudden, you can reconnect real fast.
Mhm.
And I'm old enough that I've had enough shit that I'm done with that. I am so done.
I'm done too.
I am done. I am done. I got taught. Yeah, I should be number one. I can out argue anybody, anytime. I don't care what you throw it at me. I can beat you. I know I can.
Mhm.
I'm that good. But it didn't get me anywhere but destroyed and dead.
Mhm.
So I choose not to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And Stephanie does it nonstop. She always has. You can argue with Stephanie, she'll just go and walk away.
Mhm.
Because it is not worth, I don't give a shit what you think.
Mhm.
I give a shit what I think. And what I think is I'm gonna be happy today. And if you think that means that somebody's gonna hurt you, well, more power to you. In my life, I'm good. Nobody's touching me.
Yeah.
You play your game however you want to. It has nothing to do with me.
Mhm.
I have all the power for me. You can't touch me if I don't allow you to.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the more the ego will go, whoa, that worked.
Mhm.
And the ego is smart.
Mhm.
And it pays attention. And if it can follow, if it can replace all those old ways with new ways, it will come your way. It will join you. And it becomes very easy. I don't have to fight my ego at all anymore.
Okay.
Didn't really take that long either. I just had to prove it.
Yeah.
And when you're vibrating a certain way, bad people cannot get within you. They cannot get close enough to you if you're vibrating high enough.
Yeah.
There is a range. They will walk right by you. They could be ready to kill, rape, and steal somebody and walk right by you if you had $100 bills in your hands and you were buck ass naked. They'd walk right by you because they couldn't see you. They couldn't see you. Because you vibrate too high. They cannot see you.
Mhm.
That is the trick.
Yeah.
So if you vibrate high enough, bad guys can't touch you. That is my goal. And only good things can happen.
Mhm.
It's only when I dip that's a problem. And believe me, I know it instantly. And I will do everything to get back. And if that means I snap at you and get out of your way and get out of your life, tough shit. Then you can be mad at me. I don't care.
Well, you
I am
can't
gonna
be
be
snapping at Simone. What are you talking about? Yeah. Hey, so Naya, earlier you dropped the F-bomb, and this was a children's show as well. Children watch this, and it's have to. We got children, kids watching this stuff.
You have kids watching your show? I don't have kids watching my show.
You got no kids watching yours?
Oh, hell no.
Kids don't watch my channel
How do you
No.
know kids don't watch your channel?
because
You're the
it's not
Zen
for
mommy.
babies.
You're the
And
mommy.
besides that,
As for the mommies, though.
there's no kid out there that I don't know that hasn't heard the F-bomb. Ever.
That's a good point. Yeah,
It
that's a
is
really, really
And you know
sheltered-
what? Those are just letters. It's people who
Exactly.
put energy to it to make it bad.
That's true.
Like everything really
Besides
is
that,
just energy.
Very true. Very
Exactly.
true.
What is
Absolutely.
wrong with that word anyway?
No word.
why-
No word.
Fuck.
It's another way
Oh my
people
God.
box into a
She
society.
just said it again.
Why is that? Somebody just arbitrarily chose that word to be a bad word.
Yeah.
Now, ironically,
And then we all go
Over
for
here.
their belief system.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And however, you can say shag all day long. Although over in English,
That's right.
it means the same thing as the
Absolutely.
F word here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people say shag. It's like funny. I'm going. Humans are so weird.
It's a dance here in South Carolina.
They're so weird.
Let's go shagging.
That's right. That's a dance. It sure is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And over there, it's the same thing as saying fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly
Wow.
the same thing as saying fuck. So I don't fall for any of that. If you want to get upset about it, well then.
But do
more
you
power to
feel
you.
the energy though when you say the F-bomb?
I feel like I'm making a point because people will pay attention.
Yes, they
Because
will.
Yeah, I
They,
feel
they
like-
go, and then I got them.
I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
true,
it,
that's
it
true.
helps me express myself. Like, no, seriously, being raised
You
in
ain't never
church.
said it on your videos.
No. I mean, just talking in general, not yet. But being raised in the
Not
church
yet.
where I could, being raised in the church, I put what WTF.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've been raised in the church where I couldn't cuss. It's like I felt like a part of me was blocked and I couldn't express myself.
That's exactly why I do it. I say whatever I want, whenever I want, because nobody controls this fucking God.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
rules. There's no
I
rules.
decide. Not you, not society, me. And if I want to use it, I will use it. If you don't like it, take it out of the language.
There's
Easily
a
led is not
poem.
easily followed.
There's a poem by Blake. It's
That's
called
true.
London,
That's true.
and he talks about the mind forged manacles that we put on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's this poem by I believe it's Blake.
There's Elijah.
Blake, that's like old
Hi.
dude, isn't it? Like way back when.
Well, yeah, I had to study poetry in college.
Oh, okay.
But so Blake, but that one always stuck.
Bye,
with me.
Elijah. I didn't even know you were on
Mind forged
here.
manacles that we give ourselves. We give ourselves our rules,
Mhm.
and we bind our own selves up.
Greetings.
So
And
true.
humans do.
So
Humans
true.
do. And of all the
Mary's
and
on
they're
both
really good at
feeds.
controlling people around sex.
Oh
Sex
yes.
is a good one. They can control.
Are you
Don't
enjoying the
talk about it.
conversation?
Don't think about it. Goodness knows you gotta have sex with
So why
the
is
right
that?
person, the right race, the right color, the right gender.
Why is that night? Why do religions?
Shame.
Shame, yeah, it's a good way to make you feel less than,
Yep.
not good enough.
Shame.
It's anything that they can do to make you feel bad.
Mhm.
Of course, big picture, 7 billion gods on a planet.
Right.
Keep
Simone,
them
do you have room in your
amnesia.
freezer?
It's a part of the deal.
In there.
That's a part of the deal, and
Do
that's
you
the
have
reason
room in
why
your
they do it.
freezer?
Huh?
Do you have any room in your freezer?
No.
Darn.
Yeah, she got a
What,
little teeny
what do
fridge.
you have?
You got a
A lot of
microwave.
chicken
I'm not-
You
nuggets.
can put those in the fridge.
Yeah, just put them in the fridge.
Yeah,
You just have to
we'll
cook
eat them
them.
in a day or two.
I got as many in there as I could.
Okay.
Good job, thank you.
Yeah.
Have you got room in your refrigerator? Do you eat those?
I don't eat chicken, meat.
Oh, that's
Oh, we
right.
should have room.
Yeah, I can
we
get them
just-
in. I can get them in here. No worries.
We can microwave those, right? Just. Are they
I would
cooked?
imagine.
Are you
Yeah,
gonna
they're
cook
just
them?
already
Okay.
cooked.
Okay.
They're already cooked. I'm sure.
She said we
Yeah,
had
they're
to cook
cooked.
them.
They're cooked. You just gotta heat it up.
You
Yeah,
guys
they're,
gotta
they're
heat 'em
breaded.
up.
Okay.
So.
You just put them in the oven so they get.
Okay.
Well, I like
I can
That's easy.
feed a mess of them to the
Hey, we
dog.
can put them in the toaster oven.
All right.
That'd be real
Yeah.
fast.
Well, there's a whole bunch in the fridge.
All right.
Yay.
That'd be a good
And be
snack.
careful when you open the freezer.
She looks so
be
good,
careful.
Simone. Look at that. Look, there's Simone, isn't it? She was saying, "Don't film me. I don't look good." She looks good.
She always looks
I'm
beautiful.
going back to the dreads. I'm going back to the black hair.
Going back to the reggae look, huh?
Yeah, I'm going
Your
back.
black roots.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
It's just I don't have to do anything. That's the point. It's easy for me to just turn on the YouTube. I go weeks without a video now because I don't.
A long time. Long time.
Yeah, before I can
you're
just
worried
pop it
about
on. My hair's already looking good no matter what I do.
That's right.
So
Well, I think your hair looks cute the way it is.
Yeah, I like it like I
I'm
like it
just
like that.
lazy.
But it looks cute the way it is.
Yeah, but you know what it
Okay.
took to get it even this. This is even
Looks
what I
good.
wanted.
What do you want? Just the old fashioned
Just
look.
I wanted it to
The
be
dreads.
looking.
You know, when you know you're beautiful, you are.
Yeah, that's.
No matter what you look like on the outside.
Well, I
You
like
know what?
it.
I'm
I like
working
her
on
hair.
that.
I like her hair kind of wildish. You know?
I do. I like
think
everybody in their
matches-
natural form too.
It
but that's
matches
just me.
your true vibration because it is very wild. She is very wild, like fire.
It doesn't give me
It
a
is
date.
like fire.
See, like me and I aren't interested in dates, so maybe that's why we think that. Yeah.
Yeah, last thing I needed.
No.
Oh, I want the guy, but he's gonna have to be damn perfect. So
Yeah,
I'll
that's
wait.
probably not gonna happen.
I'll wait. I'm totally good with waiting till 5D.
Yeah, I'm okay.
totally good.
I'm
with that.
okay.
So wait, so in 5D you still can date and have
Oh
sex?
hell yeah.
Yeah.
A lot better. So.
It doesn't matter if you're wearing clothes. I mean, nobody really judges you. I
Well,
would
you
just
can
walk
have the
around
perfect,
naked all
yeah,
the
you have the
time.
perfect body. You can have whichever body you
So
want.
wait, so that's because you're
There's no
dry and
judgment.
you're completely
Yeah,
can
well, having
manifest
fun,
whatever you
for
want.
sure.
Yeah, there's no judgment.
Oh, well, then I just
Got
rather go
Dominique
5D
watching.
too.
Exactly.
Why waste time with you?
Exactly. You got
Dominique
it.
and Mary.
Why
still
would
with
you
us.
wait and like suffer through
Hi,
another
Dominique
maybe
and Mary.
broken guy? Because I'm not right yet. I'd rather wait. When I get 5D, I know I'm okay. So there's the guy I want to meet.
Okay, so what is
I'm not
5D?
interested at all.
Okay, so I know you talk about this all the time, and I kind of have
You're
remembered
too busy to be.
when
Not
I did
interested at all.
ayahuasca, there was a part something told me this is what 5D is like. There was a part something said that after
I feel like
ayahuasca
I'm there
kicked
most
in
of
with
the
me and storm.
Roar for
And so
You're in
I
5D most
understand
of the
it's a
time?
consciousness, but at the same time, does the earth change?
The earth changes,
I'll
yeah.
tell you something
Big
story
time.
about something.
So
that
like what,
happened
is
to
there
me.
different types
Sure.
of plants like?
There,
Or?
everything that you see is still there. It just, well, most of the buildings leave because we don't want them there anymore. So most of the buildings leave because you can instantly manifest. So you don't have to sleep if you don't want to. Very seldom. I don't think anybody sleeps. Do you? I don't think anybody
No.
sleeps.
Mhm.
So you
You have to eat?
no, you don't have to eat. But you can. I mean, you can go, oh, I really missing hamburgers.
Can you
So
make your
you-
body look any type? you want?
any type, any color, any way, any gender.
This is like ayahuasca,
you
right?
you can be a
I haven't got that far where I can
You
change
can-
myself.
But
when
didn't
I-
you say like you felt like it was here and there at the same time?
Yeah, no. I was definitely here and there at the same time when ayahuasca. The last time
that's
I
probably
went out of body, and this time I took my body.
usually in 5D, if you're creating a building, it's usually for an event.
Uh-huh.
And usually the event is one to get a bunch of people together to talk, but more than likely most of it is concerts. My God, there's concerts all the time.
Just people
Singing,
are
singing,
artistic.
singing. Singing with lights everywhere. Most of them is up in the air.
I was just gonna say that's where I always
They're
we always have
always
a party
up
in
in
the
the air.
clouds.
I
They're
can't
always
sing
partying
in
in
this
the
life.
clouds.
Will I be able to sing after I go to 5D?
You
Whatever
can
you want.
play guitar and do anything you want,
Yeah,
right?
whatever
Yep.
you want.
I can
You
just
can
pull on
sing-
Mozart and I can just do all
You
of
can
Mozart.
sing like you were playing a guitar. You'd have guitar music come out of your mouth. If that's what you want.
Simone, I didn't even paint until May 1st.
Really?
What? You're lying.
No.
Mhm.
What? Say it again.
When the Kilauea volcano started erupting is when I got a call to go out and get some paints. And
I thought you've been doing this stuff for years.
no, since May 1st.
Get out of here.
I'm just telling you guys.
And you've already done over 100
And
paintings.
if you open up, there's all kinds of stuff.
Stuff you don't even know you can
available.
do.
But nobody is allowing it because you say, oh no, this is the way it is.
No way.
Even though there's all these
Exactly.
options of other
You
things
can
that you
tell
can
me
do.
it's-
And when they go, oh no,
when
this is the way it
started
is.
erupting.
Well, this isn't the way it
And
is.
then
As long
water
as you
sleeping
do that,
for
you'll
like
stay
3
in
or 4 day every
4D.
day.
Wow.
You've got
The
to allow
second
the
day
new
after
stuff.
my
You've got
first
to be open
test
to
painting,
what's
Yeah.
new.
I went
Wait a
out and I
minute, May
spent
1st of
$500
this
on-
year?
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Wait a minute, I moved to Florida on May 5th. This was not that long ago.
It
This
was
was
way
3
long.
months ago.
It's all about flow. Everything
It's
connecting
about
to me is
flow.
about flow. So when Kilauea started flowing, I started flowing, the paint flows, everything's a flow.
Everything moves. Now, if you, like me, I know her, everything that I see here is moving.
Yeah, it's hard for me to
Always.
sit still.
Always, everything, the floor, the walls,
Have you noticed,
everything's
Michelle, I got
moving.
paintings
It's
all
all
over the
moving.
On ayahuasca, it's
I love
moving.
original
It's always
I was
moving.
hoping to get like
Everything's always
abstract.
moving. Now it's
Yeah,
whether
Yeah,
that's
yeah, it's
outside.
outside. She-
Uh-huh.
we
The
put it
day
in her
that you
room.
can see it's
Yeah,
moving is the day
absolutely.
you can start to make
I
it
love
go
that one.
away.
It's one of my
Yeah.
more
And then you
favorites.
just, everything that's, every consciousness
You
that's in
can-
this
you can-
house,
I can
if
see
you
what you
decide,
see.
well,
You know,
what-
you look
I don't
at
want this house anymore, I
flowers
want
and
it
all
to
that,
look
you
like
can see
this,
everything.
and then it becomes whatever you
The
want.
more you spend
Can
time
you
with
tell
it,
me what
just
energy
don't
being
think
was in my
about it.
room last
Just
night?
feel it.
yeah, just let it be.
Yeah, don't let it don't try to dissect it. Just
Not
feel
one that I would wanna
Okay.
visit with.
it.
No.
Live with it for a little bit.
So
You will.
it wasn't
You know?
good?
Yeah, let it
Well,
flow.
it's
Absolutely.
4D, there's nothing
I'm glad
wrong
you
with
did.
that.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I felt
I'm
something
very
like
glad
at
you
some
did
point.
Oh,
And I
anytime you
was
Right
want it.
now,
And I hope
where
you're
you're
not making
at,
one.
you're like so,
I brought a lot of supplies.
You're so right in
now.
between
Whatever you need,
this
we'll go to Walmart.
chaos.
I got
you're very
everything you need.
susceptible to
Great.
4D beings.
Mhm.
They wanna come and convince you.
You mess with me.
Yeah, they wanna convince you to come our way. Come our way. We've got the right way. Just do it our way. That you've got a lot of bees that are trying to get you to do that.
Mhm.
And you're very susceptible to it because you're unsure. So you go, oh, really? Well, maybe you are right. Oh, well, that doesn't. Or
Your
maybe
friend?
you're right.
Your friend Bridget. Okay, so I told Nia this. She called me one day. She had a channeled message for me,
Yeah.
and she saw a vision of me in church when they tried to do the exorcism and everything.
Bridget's very powerful psychic.
And she was telling me that it was a 4D being giving her that communication to try to win me over.
Very
What, back to
They're
the
doing a
religion?
lot of it.
They're basically
Just
No,
in
no,
their way.
just win me over to
There
the
are-
4D way. You know how
Oh, okay.
they want your energy too.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
they're playing their game their way.
And they win a lot too.
Last year,
What
there was
is
a
it?
lot of spaceships that would come and show themselves to me and George at our backyard. And they would come disguised under a cloud.
Wait, George would see it?
Yeah,
That's your
George.
husband, right?
Right, so me and George would see them together at
Okay.
the same time. And a massive ship came over our house and had a cloud cover and it dipped out. It was in broad daylight, by the way. It dipped out and we saw the whole side of it. It was amazing.
Yeah, they're huge.
But we just go, hey, nice to see you guys. And that's it.
Keep your feet
Very
on
friendly.
the
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm
yeah.
not interested.
You're not interested?
No,
I'd be like,
I don't need a spaceship.
The second you do, you are,
Yeah, I don't need a
it is
spaceship.
out.
Oh,
Keep your
so they
feet
don't really
on
come
the
around
ground.
Yeah, they don't.
So now if a spaceship came over here, like what would you do? Just
Wave.
Like, give a shit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do all the time.
It might
They're,
happen, actually,
they're
so-
everywhere.
I've seen a lot.
They're everywhere.
I
They've
bet a lot of
always been
stuff,
here.
now that you're here, a lot of stuff's gonna happen, I think. A lot of animals are gonna be coming here, a lot of,
So, you know what, I saw, okay, so I think I saw some beings, it was a while ago when I first did those videos about communicating with angels. I felt like
Yeah.
angels were trying to talk to me.
Mhm.
And so I requested to see a physical presence of these angels. And I did it at I went to this, I want to say chamber of secret, this chamber with this Deeksha's, this Indian thing where you go to the divine and you can make a request. And I said I wanted to have a physical experience with these beings.
All right.
And so I didn't see anything right away, but a few days later, me and my son were watching TV, and there was an Xbox. You know how you watch it through an Xbox?
Yeah.
But it was the one with the video, and in the video you can see the little video on the TV, and it'll just show you the room like in black and white,
Okay.
right? And so as I was looking, all of a sudden I see like 3 little lights with wings. They were small like fairies, and they were like moving around, going like this, jumping, and I'm thinking this is all part of the screen. And for a while, I'm sitting through the whole movie, and they're like moving around, and I'm just like, they started to hit me. Those things look like they have wings, and they were moving, and so I started to move around, and I noticed they were like attached to my hands,
damn.
and then it was on storm, and then later I was just like, no, this has always been there. I just never paid attention. But sure enough, when Judd came there, you know, my boyfriend, it was his house. Those things weren't there in the screen. It was only there, like, and when I picked up Storm, it was around Storm, and it was 3 of them, or it was on me. And I was just like, is this really what I'm seeing? But it was only through the camera of the Xbox One.
And you were still questioning it though.
And there's where you can't get any further.
Yeah, that's why.
You gotta stop questioning.
Question and thinking.
By the way, those were not angels, those were bears.
They were fairies.
Yeah,
they were fairies.
How did you know that right away, too?
Because I thought
You're
they were
like that
fairies, but they were
sidekick, yeah.
tiny.
Yeah, we're buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were moving fast and flipping their wings. It was just a really fast movement.
Oh yeah, that's
And
very
they more
different.
wanted you to invite them.
Yeah.
Instead of go,
Oh,
am I- is this
am I
really it?
Yeah, and then they'll go.
And that was the
They'll
week everything went missing in my house, and then they
Yeah.
on the
leave.
couch.
They're good at that.
I had 3 girls looking for my laptop. 3 of them in the living room, and this is not a big
You
living room.
really, if you get fairies called in, you really.
An hour later, the laptop appears on the couch. After no one moved anything, they didn't
My
find
personal
it.
favorites is.
Well, to screw with you, don't they?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're just fun. They just want to
They're
have
just
fun.
they just want to have fun.
Yeah, that's
They
all.
just
No harm.
Hide
cause endless array of.
So
I
when you,
watched them.
when you said that she needed to invite them, what would have happened if she didn't invite them?
They
She
become
did.
more.
Then they
she
would
could
come
see
for
'em,
more.
and
Yeah.
she could see them clearer.
Interact.
And if you'd hold her hand,
Okay.
I see you. Can I see you more? And just hold your hand and believe. That's very true. You know that fairy thing.
Uh-huh.
Is to say you
I
believe.
believe.
I believe. That's true with all magical creatures.
Everything.
Well, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. You just gotta believe.
Yeah, and I still like the prism being that I met on ayahuasca. I named her Seneca. I still haven't. Like, I made the communication. I was like, I want to, talk to you, see you, make yourself visible.
Isn't that her?
Who, Seneca?
Okay.
So I already told her that.
Okay.
No, I didn't know that.
She
It's
doesn't remember.
me.
Oh, I didn't
I
know.
already told
You didn't tell me it was
Yes,
me.
I
It is you. I was thinking. I think that's you.
It
sweetie.
is.
You mean that green girl
It's
with
your
Simone?
height.
No,
no,
Seneca
no.
was the prism color. She had the prism skin
Oh,
and the
yeah.
reptile.
Oh,
I
okay. I
remember
was like,
that.
She
Jesus.
doesn't remember.
Doesn't remember. Okay. Okay.
Maybe it's not time.
Maybe that's a different time.
How did you know that?
Oh,
How did she?
it had
How
to
did
be
she
it.
know all this stuff?
Because she could see
Me?
stuff.
I'm a super psychic, by the
You
way.
obviously are.
She's very
So-
psychic and she deals with the difference between
I don't-
her and me, the reason why I buddy up with her is because her expertise is much lower. It's much more in the
It's just
physical.
different. We all have
And
our
I'm
niche.
and I'm like way high in energy. I'm big picture and she's down small.
But you learned all this through your abilities. Naya
She's-
died, went to the other side and seen it. and
I
remembers
died
it.
too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, did you really?
Yeah.
I died the same year she died.
No way.
Right.
Wow.
How did
Not,
you die?
I wasn't in a coma for a month. I mean, it was very like I died, and then we just probably switched timelines. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
probably.
Because I've died several times.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys.
Do you remember going
I,
to the other
I
side?
know I died at least 6 times.
Wow, 6 times.
But
But
See,
it's
some
but it's-
people-
in your sleep?
But I just no, I
Some-
go and then we switch to another timeline where I didn't.
See,
die.
if you're hearing you switch timelines, you have to go through them. If you die, you can move over real fast. So you don't have
to another
You don't
timeline, you're
have
really
to-
not dead anymore. That actually makes sense.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
how
it
you-
makes sense that you
But
don't
Naya
remember it
didn't do
too.
that. Naya went back.
Because
Yeah.
you remember the rest of the life on this timeline,
Mhm.
the collective.
Well, you can go up whenever you die. You look at all the timelines and pick.
yeah.
You go, oh, I'd rather be on this one, and you come back down on that one.
But you can also move people like you did me when there was originally
Well,
a girl
you
that died.
moved yourself, I just suggested.
Oh, I thought you did that.
No, well, I went up and I told you, we had a conversation
Oh, okay.
and I said,
Your
look,
higher self.
right now, you're on the
Did you know what she
timeline.
did? Or she told me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
Because it
she
was-
she-
actually
uh,
watched it
Yeah, it was
probably.
the girl that died.
Yeah,
originally.
and I knew
And do you
that,
remember that? Because
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so what I did was I went up to your higher self and you weren't really paying attention. You just wanted to be more enlightened, is really what your goal was,
Mhm.
but you really weren't paying attention to all the options.
Yeah.
And so you landed on one, not realizing that down the line, and it was down the line, you were gonna see those kids on TV,
Yeah.
and you were gonna fall the fuck apart. And that was not good for your
That would have been
enlightenment.
tough, yeah.
It would have been very, very tough. And you agreed to it with me, so we looked at the other timelines and you chose this one. And
And-
I looked more.
And you know what's so neat, Simone, is I said, I don't know if you know about it, like Jeremy and my brother,
Mhm.
so it's like the Mandela effect. They remember, like, no, it was a girl. I'm like, no, I had to tell them that it wasn't.
Wait, no, I remember a
It was
girl.
a girl.
Right?
It was a girl.
It didn't happen. It didn't
Yeah,
happen.
That
It
was the one that we
It changed,
because
Simone. We changed
when-
timelines.
when he told me that, I went further down through time.
Uh-huh.
And what happened was he didn't have a problem with the girl dying. The girl did die, the one that hit her. He didn't have a problem with that because he's been listening and she chose it. But what happened is it got on the news
Mm-hmm.
and there's two little kids and these little kids were crying. And he saw it
Uh-huh.
on
Like,
TV.
They showed the funeral and
And
stuff.
he could, it broke, I mean,
Like
it
a
tore
mother's
him up.
children, the mother that died.
The mother's children. And it tore him up.
And you remember this and then you.
No, I
no, no.
don't, but I mean,
Oh.
He told me that he
Oh,
hit
and
a
the other
woman.
time. Okay.
And I followed that timeline to see what would happen.
Uh,
And it was not good. That's not what he wanted. So I went up and talked to his higher self and I said, look, this is the way this one ends up. I don't think that's what you want. He agreed with
I
me.
remember him telling me it was a woman and she wasn't in good condition. That's
Right.
all I remember.
Right.
And
Well,
then-
we went over and we found the timeline he's on now, and it was a black guy, about the same age, but nobody else.
Really?
And he
yeah,
lived.
yeah.
Because the woman wasn't black.
No.
No, it was a young white.
It's-
Yeah, young white
it's
So
a-
this really is a Mandela effect that really
Absolutely.
happened.
Oh, yeah, oh man,
It's a
so many lately.
Yeah.
It's a 26-year-old black guy named Jamal that hit me.
Yeah, which
And
is,
he's okay.
Yeah, he made it. He made
he,
it.
I mean, he got.
Man, he got
hurt pretty
messed
bad,
up pretty bad, but he
But
made
it will affect his life in a positive way, much better for what he wants.
Okay.
So there's lots of
And
options.
of course, he
you
chose
could
that
choose.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he chose.
And Naya said one day, don't be surprised if some guy comes up to me and just, what do you say, like, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a big. He gives him a big hug, and that is a big deal because his family believes that because he was at fault, that when Gman gets well, that him and his friends are going to come hurt the kid,
Mm-hmm.
and they have scared him to death. But
Well,
in
of course
spite
they-
of that, there are many timelines that he just can't not do it.
Mhm.
So he finds G-Man and he just walks up to him out of the blue, gives him a big hug and tears in his eyes and says, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I wanted G-Man to know that what it took for this, if he gets into one of those timelines, that kid believes that G-Man's gonna kill him. He absolutely.
I get choked up thinking about that too. Like, if
So,
that does happen, I give him a big hug and say, don't worry, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
But cause I know G-Man, but I wanted
Yeah,
him to
no,
relieve
you're not
that.
gonna hurt.
No, I've never had bitterness towards that guy. But then again, I guess, I set it up. He agreed to play the role. I've never had bitterness.
Yeah.
Even
He
even
never
all
has. He
fucked up
never
and
has.
everything.
Yeah.
Never had bitterness
He
towards
never
him.
has. He really.
Now maybe if he would have walked out scot free, I might have been a different story.
I don't know. I just have to think about that check and I wouldn't have any good
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, thank you. It's a nice ball.
So Storm
He's
plays a
nice.
role in everybody's life, it seems like, spiritually.
Well, Storm's prison children. So
Yeah.
Is everyone a prison child now, or is that
just about 98% of them that have been born since 2012 are prison.
okay?
It's kind of the fallback. If people don't get the hang of it and get us to 5D, by the time they get of age, everybody else will die and Earth will be where it needs to be.
And why wouldn't they be born a prison child now? Is it because
Some of them, there are a few of them that are going down.
Or-
Beginning of the game, they're going down. Whenever they die, they'll go to one of the other planets. They're
Long-term
starting
humans.
the 3D.
Oh, okay. Or it could be just another human wanting to incarnate one more time.
Probably not. It's probably ones that are coming down. Or they
Okay.
can be just, well, I want to experience it just once before it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll come and do that. There is a very small portion of them that are doing that.
So when we start switching over to 5D, so say I'm in 5D and maybe one of my close friends is still in 4D, will we still be coincide on the Earth together? Or
No, what will happen is they'll move or you'll lose their phone number, or they'll die in a wreck.
Yeah.
Weird stuff will happen where you cannot communicate with them anymore.
Once you cross the
But
line.
it'll be very natural. It'll
Yeah.
appear
But
very,
can they like appear later? Like maybe
Yeah.
I appear first and maybe like 20 years
unless
later?
they're dead.
And how many years can we be in 5D? Can we ever
Oh,
exit?
once you get into 5D, there's time starts to really collapse. So you can stay for 500 years. You can stay forever. Nobody does, but
You say
There
forever,
is-
but
you
you still
can-
go
you
back
can-
to the other
you can leave and come back. You
Okay.
can leave and go to other games and come back. And whenever the Earth is in 5D, it's a lot more fun.
No, you said that no one ever does stay that long. Why, they get bored? Or?
There's just once you see the other games and you can get to them, there's too much temptation.
I just really wanna
Some friend will
experience
pop in and go, "You gotta check out this game." You go, "Okay," and
Yeah,
off you
in
go.
fact, the game that I'm creating, Naya says she's tempted.
Yeah, I'm tempted. His game isn't
I'm
too
only
bad,
seeing
guys.
things through a window. I haven't been able to go into the window.
That's because of your fear. That's
Yeah, you're
because
stopping
of your.
I really want to experience it though.
You have too much judgment. You have too much judgment. You've been hurt too much,
Mhm.
so you're afraid to open up. And with that, you can't see. You've got to see. In my case, I survived so much bad stuff that I'm not afraid of anything anymore.
Mhm.
You know, I figure, well, how bad can it be? I've experienced, you name it, I've had it happen to me. There is nothing you can name
Yeah.
that I haven't had happen to me.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting here and I'm fine. So I'm not afraid of anything anymore.
Mhm.
Because if something bad happens over there, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take very long and I could survive it. So what? So it's pretty much a so what. And in that moment, that's how I opened up and went so far. That's how I could see so much.
Mhm.
Was because you can't have any fear. The fear has to leave. And once the fear is gone and the judgment's gone, you fly.
Mhm.
You fly. And it's magnificent. But you have to become the God that I say you are. No God is afraid.
Mhm.
There's no reason for God to be afraid ever. And I'm not. I'm just not. Am I afraid in human form here? At times. I'm more annoyed than anything.
Yeah.
Because I want who I am back.
That's
I
for
want to
damn
be
sure.
that.
She does get annoyed.
Mhm.
We got 5 thumbs up, by the way. 60
I'm
likes.
okay with not even going to 5D. I'm okay with just going back.
What?
I am okay with it.
I
I'm
thought you
here.
were all
I'm,
about, I thought you were all about 5.
I'm happy to help Ursula's souls survive it.
You're going to
But
fight.
it's so amazing over there. It really
I
doesn't matter to
guarantee
me.
you
what
I'm
happens.
going to fight.
I have no clue.
That's the way I feel. I'll die and get there either.
I swear to
way,
God, most of the time.
I don't want to die though. I really don't want to experience death in this body, to be honest. But
Really?
if I
It
do,
doesn't
that's
hurt.
great. too.
Why? It doesn't hurt.
I know.
There's nothing
It's
to
the
it.
waking up.
Why is that?
part.
Is there a fear, Simone?
It's not really a fear. It's the thought that I've spent all of this time here. Why not complete it? And I just kind of want
I
to
see.
complete it.
That's a time space illusion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no such thing as
No.
completing anything.
Well, like the next level. Like
There is not a next level.
it's supposed
That's,
to be challenged, right? Like
that's
no.
your that's a judgment. That's just all bullshit. It's
No
all
battery
total
warning.
bullshit.
Oh. Let's see.
15%.
Well, plug it in
15%
there.
at 5:55. Okay, y'all get it.
There's a plug.
Yeah, there's extension cord.
And
Right
now we have a extension
Oh, yeah,
cord.
where's my cord?
Now we're having a commercial. We're trying to teach
So now it's Naya and her sidekick.
Simone about no time, space, no judgment, no fear.
judgment.
No, we're not talking about little things here. We're talking about the biggies.
If you guys got any questions, now's a good time to type them up. Let me know if anything comes up. Are you probably
Who all
I
is?
don't have my glasses.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have my phone.
And that
goes
goes
for
for
my
my
subscribers.
subscribers.
Whoever's
If y'all have a
watching
question,
this,
just
would
put
you
it on
please,
there and we'll
if there's
ask.
anybody on the WhatsApp group or the website, would you please let people know that we're live? Because they are always asking, because I never do this in a certain time. I
Yeah,
just
let
do
it-
it
let it
random.
know, man. We just did it. Yeah, we can have Maria join and a lot of people.
You know, on Google Hangouts, I've been meaning to tell y'all this. They now have it where you can go live in this group Skype chat,
Oh, yeah?
but you have to do Hangouts, and you get a link, and we all click the link, and we can all talk,
Okay.
and our subscribers can watch at the same
Do
time.
it.
Interesting.
You gotta do it.
I gotta set it up and stuff. I don't know how to do it just yet.
You got some comments.
Let's see. Hello and good evening to everyone there from Shantae Alexandra.
Hello.
Bye
Bye,
Bye
bye.
Life is Nalaja. I think she said she had to go. But she
bye,
said this, she
Elijah.
said y'all are my jam.
Oh, we love Elijah.
Let's see. Mary's watching both feeds. strip,
cool.
the gret, it says greetings. Nexodus says that's me to something we were talking about. And everything else I've
I know
read.
you can scroll down on those.
Oh yeah, you
How
can.
do you get those up? Is there a button you push to get them up?
Oh, you know what?
Because we had some. See,
See
now they disappear. Can you get them back?
yeah, I just touched it like that. You scroll.
Oh, we damn.
Yeah.
Thanks, Simone.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
All right, Chris says,
so much.
let's see. How do we constantly change timelines?
What you want to do is literally you have to believe that you're already there and whatever the circumstance is. So if it's a person, if they're standing in front of you and they're being hateful, you've got to smile right through that. You've got to see beyond that. You've got to know that that's just one aspect of them and that there's many other aspects. And you know, just not going to give any energy to the one you don't like. So you just let it kind of flow by you. I don't know. I just kind of do this Aikido, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And then I smile and I see them smiling at me or saying something nice. I just do not accept that version in my mind. I just will not accept that version. So whatever the events are that you're seeing that you don't like, you have to look at them like a movie that you did it wrong. And you're a director and you need to direct it better. And you don't pay any attention to the ones you don't like and give all your energy to the parts you do like. And somebody wrote something.
I'll go back. Now I know how to do it.
A little bit.
Mary said she told what out.
Huh?
I love you.
Mary told what out. We got 9
Okay.
people.
Candy.
Got 9 people.
Good. Thank you,
And I have
Mary.
4 people.
So everybody ask a question. We got Michelle, Naya, Zen Mommy,
And Storm.
and Storm. So ask a question to anybody.
Storm responds.
We
Yeah.
got Eminem over here. Magical
Magical Michelle.
Michelle, Eminem.
She speaks to magical creatures.
Non-stop all the time.
And today's my birthday.
Oh, it's Michelle's birthday!
Yay!
Happy birthday to
Happy
Michelle!
birthday. Happy birthday.
I forgot. I've been that all day.
Are you?
I've known it all month.
Are you youngering?
I am. I
Me
am
too.
youngering.
Yeah, Naya's reversing time.
But that's why I brought gifts. I always give gifts on my birthday.
Deepak
Oh.
told said to never come to someone's house without a gift.
I know, right?
Somebody
I never
said,
do, right?
I brought me. So,
That was important.
I had somebody that just started watching me, and she wrote to me, and she said that she watched my earlier videos a year ago, and it looked like I was a year younger. And I went, yes, it's working.
Yes, it does work.
It's just
Yes.
anything
No,
you
it
can,
does work.
anything you could do to play to make it more real for you, that works for you, you need to practice.
And that makes you younger.
Well, that's what I just decided to play with that.
Well, you look young too for your age.
I know.
Very
I'm
young.
41.
Well, look
It's amazing.
You want to know one that can do it the best is my daughter. I can put her on. I will one of these days. I'll put her on camera whenever she's playing about 16, 17, and she's 29. She can still pull off 16 and 17 easy.
It's the virgin.
Hey.
That's what it is.
And can you grab me a Gman drink? So in the meantime, how was your trip?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, it was really
Get to
nice.
chill out, yeah.
The truck kind of drives itself.
Ah.
I
Whereas
just trust the truck.
her
She got
trip,
one of
her
those.
trip was very hectic and stressful. Long.
Yeah.
Mine was no worries.
I had to stop every couple hours. But it was still, I felt like it was like a spiritual breakthrough.
Yeah. You left so tired. That was good.
And I felt very clouded and cluttered. And as I got
Thank you.
further away from Palm Beach,
This is my Gman drink.
the more clear I felt. I felt better.
That's exactly what happened. You were coming out of a fog. I could just see it.
She was in such turmoil. I
I'm
mean,
telling
it
you.
was.
You couldn't even.
I had points where I just thought I was going to get in an accident and never make it. I was just like, no.
It's okay. You weren't watching.
No, but I was just thinking like,
You were
that would be me like that.
protected.
I have a painting called Off with Her Head.
My
Oh,
head?
really?
Wait, my head?
No, it's just called Off with Her Head. It's
Hey,
actually
you
my
want to see that
head.
one?
It's actually my head.
Okay.
It's called Off with Her Head because whenever I start using the word think or getting, I go, no, off with her head, off with her head, off with her head.
I love that.
And then I go right into here.
Thinking is the biggest worst habit humans have. If I could wish away one thing, it would be humans to stop thinking. They think themselves into hell.
Yeah, I think myself in anxiety attacks.
Yes,
and-
exactly.
Yeah.
So think to yourself when you start doing that, go off with my head. and then go right into your heart. You go, okay, how do I feel?
Yep.
Everything's right.
Stop
Everything's fine
thinking.
right now.
Yeah,
So right now is all we
way
have.
too
That's
much.
true. That's
And
true.
usually, whatever you're thinking about that may happen is probably not going to happen, and it's a waste of your time. Even if it does happen, think about it for just a second. Go, how bad would that be, and how long would it last? Really, really,
Good point.
probably a few seconds. So you're wasting all this time and all this energy, all this sadness, all this angst for a few seconds of what might be and what probably won't happen.
And you know what? I want to kick myself that I didn't live the last 3 months like I was on vacation. And like I was sitting there worried, I'm gonna never get out of this place. I'm trapped forever. And now I'm out so that quickly. And I'm like, I could have just spent the last 3 months.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
look forward.
you could've.
I was
Chilled out.
stressing in my head the whole
And you
time.
were
Okay.
creating.
And you created it.
Could have had
Because you made
Seth
so
and
much
Maria
energy.
real close by and chilled out.
And I mean, it couldn't get you out of it. You were ramping yourself into
That's
over
why.
it.
I felt like I was putting a new vortex around me.
But that's probably why your roommate reacted so ridiculous.
Oh, it is.
yeah, I
Because
created
you
to force
needed
me
it.
out.
Just like when Naya died, she had to die.
Mhm.
You had to have that really traumatic experience in the traffic.
Mhm.
How do you
To
feel
get
now?
yourself-
How do you feel now?
I
Good.
felt like it was meant to be, and I don't know if I told you that Storm told me in a dream that we had to go the next day, right before my roommate started doing that. He just was like, "Follow me, we gotta go, we gotta go." I was chasing him, and we went through this beautiful journey. We finally got to the point where we made it to the gate, because it was the gated community. So it was something about feeling trapped in that
In
gated
that
community.
gate. I kept telling
And
you.
then when we got to the gate, we're like, we're at the gate. And then, but we kept going, and he was like, we gotta go. And I woke up, and I knew that it was time to go.
When you felt,
Whenever I went and saw you, I had the same problem with that gate. And I went, oh, she's fucked.
but you felt trapped your whole life, haven't you?
Huh?
You felt trapped by different things your whole life.
Not as trapped as I did.
It
Yeah.
just kept ramping.
Before
It kept
my
getting worse and
awakening,
worse.
I had dreams for a year being trapped in the cult. But I guess I was kind of trapped in the cult, in the relationship,
In
in
your
different
church.
forms. Yeah.
In the family, you have. It's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. So you keep trying to run and run and run. And you're just making it worse trap, instead of standing and going, there is no
You're
trap.
trapped. I have the power.
You're trying to get out of a trap that you're creating yourself. So you have to stop and you have to say, go away, trap.
Yeah.
I did this. I know I did this. I don't want it anymore. There is no trap. There is no trap that can bind me, ever. That is the key. And it just takes that. It's not like I stepped through that door immediately. I stepped back and forth, back and forth. But I guarantee you, the day, the moment you step through that door of I am God and own it and know it and be it is the best day ever. Because you truly, in that moment, are totally free. Because it doesn't matter what happens
And
after
that's
that.
how I felt when I went out of body. I was free.
Yeah,
I knew
free.
who I was, and I
And you just
didn't want to
learn
come
to
back.
you learn to do that in body.
Mhm.
You learn to remember that in body.
Ask some
And
questions, people.
even if shit is
If you
going
have
on
any.
around you, you can just smile through it and go, it can't keep me. It's temporary. I don't care what you say. I can make it go away. You can't control me. I've just got to figure out how to get around this. It's a fucking game.
Mhm.
You learn the game. And once you start playing the game, then you could actually almost do it like it's fun.
Yes.
Like almost like, okay, this is here. And I'm always intending for something
you read
better
that?
to happen.
Last two ones.
So if something bad happens to me or something
Thank
comes
you.
out of my
Lisa, happy
life,
birthday.
my
Yeah,
thinking
Gerald.
is not,
Gerald and
oh
Chris.
no,
I
bad
love you
things
guys.
happen.
I really
never do
appreciate
that.
it.
What I do is I say, if this is going away, something better is coming.
Hey, here's a
And I'm
question.
looking for the better.
Naya, why have I or anyone manifested things that I don't want very quickly, even if I stop the thought?
Go ahead.
Many times it takes longer to
Okay.
manifest what I want. I know
Okay,
she-
sorry. Say
I know
that
she-
again.
oh, it's gone.
Maybe
No,
Ron
okay.
knows how to get it back.
I'll get it back. Okay. Naya, why do I have or anyone manifested things that I don't want very quickly, even when I stop the thought, and many times it takes longer to manifest what I want. So when she wants something, it takes forever. When she thinks about some shit,
Nice.
it's
That is little
instant.
toy he can play
Because
with.
you're trying to do it by talking English. And the universe does not
If you
speak
wait.
English. So
Yeah,
you've
wait.
got
Hold on.
probably decades of
The dog got it
society saying you can't have whatever it is you want. Or you have to work for whatever you want. or the likelihood that
We
you're
only
gonna
do
get
it.
what you want is very, very slim. Those are old things that are
Right.
running through your head that have been going on since you were quite small, that you cannot, you can't stop. You don't even know where they are. You don't even know where they are. Which is the reason why I say that I'm a little bit different than the new agers, that focusing on what you want, because you've got so much stuff running in your background, the best thing to do is to make it simple. To kind of short circuit all that crap that you've been raised with. And I short circuit it by a simple thing. I simply say, I want to be happier tomorrow than I am today. You do whatever it takes to take me to that place. Nothing gets in the way of that. I do not put myself in an arena that I want this house and that car. That's too much data that I have to sort through, and I'm too lazy to do that. But what I can do, I have utter control over, is to be just a little bit happier, even 5 minutes from now than I was now. That's easy for me, and I trust it. And that's good enough. I don't have a big ego. I don't have great needs for a lot of things. I am completely fulfilled. I don't need a car or a house or a person to feel good about myself. I don't need
You
it.
don't really know that?
I just want to be happy in the moment. And whatever that moment brings, I find happiness in it. So I work in both ways. What can I do in this moment to feel happy? I do that more. I mean, look where I am. These people I didn't even know a year ago. And look at us all in this group, this house together, interacting. I didn't do that by wishing it a year ago. I started small. I get happier and happier, and I let what I know inside, why thank you, that is important to me, things that I've forgotten, things that I don't even know.
I have a question.
I let them
What
manifest
did
for
you
me.
expect when you started your videos? What did you think would happen?
What I expected was for anybody to talk to me.
Did you think it'd be like this where?
No, I never saw this coming. I think if you, in my opinion, if you make it too rigid, if you decide what it is that will make you happy, if you said already, I want this boyfriend, this car, this house, or this job, I think you're gonna screw it up. I think you don't know what would make you happy. So if you allow yourself
And then
to
it
flow with
out
it,
your side.
you will be amazed at what really does bring you happiness, and it will shock the shit out of you.
Well, now
And it won't be what society says, it won't be what your friends say or your mom and your dad, but you will be truly happy. You will just flow and let yourself go to places that nobody else goes, and you'll be amazed at what happens.
It's very
But
good.
somebody did right.
Okay. Let's see, let's put up a question.
Right there, lip storm.
Why, or what's my
There it is.
superpower?
Look, it came out
Were you talking
there,
about
so
earlier,
nice.
Mary? What's Mary's superpower or her strong points?
Mary, when you get done with your pain issues, after you get your hip surgery done, your expertise will actually be talking to people who have chronic issues,
Yeah.
chronic pain, chronic disease.
Okay.
Once you get through it, you will know how to help them do that.
Even now she's good. I mean, her and I talked.
She's getting a lot better.
When I was in the
She's
hospital,
really fighting, but she's
she was
getting a
good,
lot
so
better.
Mary-
And that's
You know Mary Louise.
Yeah, I talk to her all the time.
That's her gig. That's her gig. Whenever she gets through it, she will have one of the toughest things that you have to get through in this, to get to 5D, and she'll be an expert at it. And somebody else does.
Okay. Yeah, keep them coming, people. Keep the comments coming. Chris 999 said, thanks, Naya.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Oh, look at the bottom.
If you guys have a question, you can ask Naya, Zen Mommy, and of course, Michelle, Jean over there. We got 3 people you can ask a question
Michelle
to.
is
Even Storm.
playing in
You
on
can even
her
ask Storm a
birthday.
question.
Saying happy birthday.
And you guys can ask the question on my channel too, I'll check.
Happy
Ask a
birthday
question.
to Eminem.
Is that a question?
That's so cute.
Oh, and it's
My
Michelle's
cousin
birthday.
just messaged me with my forehead, so she doesn't know I
It's her birthday.
Is
She's visiting all the way from
that
Alabama.
what you got him for your birthday?
Uh-huh.
No, you're so sweet.
Oh, I got him a little tiny T-ball set, and I got him a little soccer ball thing, like a tiny one, but it's still
These
in the
must
truck.
go to that.
They do. We got all
Yeah,
little
those
barnyard
were that.
animals.
He gave me the
Now,
animal.
you guys, you must ask the question. Are the life feed will end? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm
But
sorry.
really,
I thought you were gonna try to
ask the question, please.
ask questions.
Ask the question. That's what it's all about. We want the interaction. I had more questions on my live feed last night than.
Oh, I can ask questions. Let me see.
Yeah, ask questions.
You know, I'm just loaded.
If you guys won't Zim on me. Oh, here's a question right here.
Okay.
Oh, happy birthday, Michelle from Sandra Hughes.
Oh, thank you, Sandra.
Hey,
Sandra.
Sandra. Hey, Sandra's on there.
Hi, Sandra.
And when you do this,
Sandra,
like,
thank you for the kind emails
She
you have
ordered
from
from
the
my store
hospital.
as
I
well.
really appreciate it. I really do. And by the way, guys, a quick update on me. I'm feeling much better. Of course, when you got Naya in the house, how can you not?
And Zen Mommy and Michelle.
Yeah, everybody's here. We had Kim here earlier.
yeah, Kim was here.
Storm.
Let's keep it magnified.
Yeah, you know, life is good. Let's see. It's hilarious when you get tough, Gman. Well, yeah, I was a fake tough. It's like the Hulk. Remember the Hulk?
You want a birthday cake? You do birthday cake?
Oh no, I don't need it. I'm just glad I got to come on out.
Hey.
I like to do something fun. on
Yeah,
my
cakes are
birthday.
good. Let's, yeah.
We don't.
You want a
Because we
birthday?
could go get you a birthday
No, no,
cake.
no,
That
no.
would be
Angels.
fun.
I'm just glad you guys invited me out for my birthday. I needed to get away. It's been here 2 weeks.
What invitation? You come anytime you want.
More words.
So,
Oh, more
is there
words.
any questions?
More words.
You wouldn't like me when I get mad. That's right, Mary.
Questions.
That's
Well, see, turn around.
Oh, I got a question real quick. What are the time frames until there is no currency, if there are any?
Well, that's up to you to go to whichever timeline when it's not
Would
there's
it,
not currency.
would it be a 5G timeline that's
No.
currency?
Oh well, 5D doesn't, but there are 4D on the way that does not have
Oh,
currency.
okay.
Where, they
It's
don't
on
use,
the-
they don't use money?
It's
How
they
do-
use
how do you-
different things. They
Okay,
use
so there's
different
some
forms
barter.
there's bartering type
Yeah.
situations, yeah. And that's depends upon what you do. You take yourself to those. The
Really?
faster you want it done, the faster
I like the
you
money
do
game.
it.
Don't you like the money game?
No.
You don't like the money? Do you
I'm
like
about
the money?
failing
You like
at
the
the
money
money game.
Do I like it?
Yeah, do you like the money game?
I can play it.
You don't like it though?
I mean, I don't know about
Does-
like. I don't really
Does
have
any of you
an opinion
guys
about
like the
it.
money game?
I like money.
When you get your paycheck, isn't it fun to go shopping?
I have a good.
And to pay bills.
I have a lot of
Oh,
money.
yeah.
I have a lot of money.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like money.
So people who like the money game are good at the
If
money
you
game.
have the money, it's a fun game. That's why.
Yeah.
I didn't always have money,
Oh, yeah?
man. No,
But did
no.
you like the money game when you didn't have, when you were broke?
Oh, it sucks then. you
No,
know.
I just always knew I'd have whatever I needed. I never really worked. Honestly, you can ask my husband. He knew me back when I was kind of in my early 20s. I taught him not to worry about money
Mhm.
because I mean, whatever, it was just always there. I mean, I just didn't concern myself with it much. But recently, I decided to like have some fun.
Mhm.
So I'm manifesting like a buttload of money right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm making bank. So I'm not
Yeah.
bragging. I'm just
Big
super
bank.
excited about my
Cool.
manifesting.
Big bank.
Just
We
super
need to-
excited about my
we need to do that.
manifesting.
She did a major intention.
Yeah,
after
don't
I
feel sorry
watched
for
that.
me. Don't feel sorry for me.
And it's caused way wild chaos. Now, she is a really good example about if you don't like your life, then intend something different, but don't get upset whenever you see in front of you start to disassemble. Because if you don't like it, it's got to go away for you to get the new stuff.
Yeah.
And she's a good example of that because everything is in chaos and everything is disassembling. And it's
So when you
if
started,
you were looking at her life, you would think, "Oh my God, poor Michelle." But Michelle knows that she's the one that's moving, and that stuff's got to go for her to have the new stuff. So she doesn't get all bothered. So what usually happens is somebody goes, "Don't like my life. I want it to change. I insist." They send a lot of energy to it. So the shit that's in front of them starts to fall apart. The people that shouldn't be in their life, the job they shouldn't have, they lose their job or almost. The people move away and they start to panic and they go, oh my God, my life is falling apart. Well, that recreates it. Everything comes back into place just the way they didn't want it.
Yeah.
You have to allow it to dissipate to create the new. It's the only way out, guys. Only way out here.
Destruction before construction.
Absolutely. You gotta make
Yeah,
it
really
real.
Everything starts to fall apart to fall together.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know
gotta
how
let
people
it go.
Yeah, well,
And then their
yeah,
life is.
I think that's what's happening to me. I
And
really can't wait to see it
can't
turn
even
around.
tell you how many times in my life
That things went totally to shit, and I was a control freak. I was on top of everything. I could do anything, and I fought until I got it. Fight was my middle name.
you're still a control freak.
And you can't. Oh yeah. And what would happen is I would fight myself to exhaustion,
Mhm.
and I'd get to the point where it wouldn't work. Because the harder you fight, I'm fighting myself.
Uh-huh.
So the harder I fight, I say, no, I can do it. Well, I'm sending it to that universe. Universe sends it back. I fight even harder. I send it back. fight even harder, up we go until I get to the point where I'm exhausted. Exactly what happened in I
Yes.
I still did it in
But she's
I
so cute.
So, and then I kind of go, oh God, fuck, shit. And I go like this, and the moment I go, I give up. Everything just starts clicking into place. I get phone calls and things come in the mail and things just start happening. Everything creates exactly the way I want it to be happier. But you have to get to that point where you go, I give up. I give up. I don't even care anymore.
I explained
And
it to
then
my
everything
husband.
comes in.
Yeah, I explained it to my husband like this. I said, it's like I'm going down a river and I'm on an inner tube and I have my drink and I'm just like, hey, everybody, I'm just scooting by on the river. I'm in the flow. And my husband is on the side. He's gripping with everything he has to hold onto the side so that he won't go down the flow. You know, and all his energy is being
He's
wasted.
fighting resistance.
Fighting.
Dated. And that's how I see people. They're like gripping and they don't want to go in the flow. They're scared of the flow, even though the flow is the answer that they're looking for. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
she is the epitome. Her and Stephanie are the best at being in the flow, of not giving a shit. The only way that you can be in a flow is to not think and not care, and to trust that you are going exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yes, the trust part.
And if you do that, it becomes easy, like this. If you do it wrong and you try to grab hold and go, no, not yet, which I do still.
My husband does.
Yeah,
But
I don't
trust
do
is
it
a
as
big
bad
deal.
because I go, wait. Oh, all right, I forgot.
Darn it.
Wait. Oh no, I forgot. So
You know, there's got to be somebody else that goes to the floor, but I can't think of anybody else.
Well,
it's very few and far between.
there was a
Very
time
few.
period when I was in like almost like a 7-year period where I lost everything. I mean, just everything I had worked for my whole life. I mean, just
No, go ahead and tell them what everything means.
my children and everything. And I literally didn't care about myself. So I went on a safe,
home, nothing,
just
Safe
everything. And so I didn't even care about myself anymore. I thought, what's the point? I don't even have anybody to take care of
Right,
anymore.
right.
But then I started, just going on this 7-year journey, and I just literally just bummed around. I traveled around the country, and I was working this little job. I'd pick up little jobs here and there, if I needed money.
Yeah.
And I was working in a clothing store, and I overheard a conversation between an older couple and one of the people that worked there.
Mhm.
Basically, their house had burned down the night before, and they lost everything.
Wow.
So I overheard it, and I went over there to tell the gentleman how sorry I was. And he smiled at me, and I want to cry. I'll never forget this. He said, don't know. He said, that's too long, somebody's coming. And it stuck with me. And I don't know who that guy was. I never saw them again. And that was back in, that's where I died. That was just something to help me. It was sent to me by me, obviously, but I didn't know that then.
Right.
But that sticks with me. And so whenever I start to feel sorry for myself, I'm like, no. I've lost everything too many times to even consider feeling sorry for myself because I'm fucking awesome and I'm right here right now and I'm doing this shit.
It's beautiful.
And new things happen.
And you do smile a lot. You always say smile in all your sentences, and you do smile all the time.
It's the
my natural
only way to
expression.
do. It's the only way to do.
So you're not just faking it like,
I
I
don't
can't smile.
think I can fake stuff.
I
I
can't.
don't.
I can't fake. I can't lie. I
It's
can't
just
fake
that a lot
stuff.
of people don't think that there's anybody that can smile and be
I
happy
know.
like you
I
do,
get
so they
approached.
think it's fake, but it's not.
Well, to tell you the truth, I worked in this place in Oklahoma I was actually almost out of that 7-year thing. I'm working my way back up. And I started running this restaurant and lodge out in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. And there was this man who was fascinated by me. Because every day he would come in and he would see me, I'd be smiling like I am now.
Yeah.
And so every day he'd come in and he'd kind of like, what are you smiling about? And I'm like, whatever, and working.
Yeah.
But finally one day, he just said it too many times and I let him have it. I told him I was just like anybody else. And I said a few other things. And he got me, I was crying. There was everything. He made everything come out.
Wow.
And he never came back again.
Just because he asked you why you smiling?
No, he every day for like 2 weeks. And
Oh.
finally I just got sick of it.
Okay.
Because he just couldn't believe it. So I was like, dude, I have problems like everybody else. But I choose to be this way.
Yeah, I like that.
Make a conscious
Yeah,
choice.
Yeah,
He can come back.
Like you're good at laughing. You laugh a lot. And that's just like her smile.
Everybody, you have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You people say this. Well, you make me mad. Nobody can
Right,
make me mad.
that's
That's
right.
impossible.
That's right.
But and I tell you what, you can't touch who I am in the inside. I won't let you. And I prefer.
You got walls all over your
I
eyes.
got
there.
walls all over the place. You're
Yeah.
not touching me. You don't have the right. And I'm bound and determined to keep it that way forever.
The only
I
thing,
run me
the
now.
only way people get to you is when you put a bubble around, and if they're like when I had the high blood pressure that one day, you had high blood pressure too.
Yep.
You guys didn't know that. I didn't tell that in the video.
No, I knew.
I had high blood pressure. She took it. Hers was higher than mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to the ER. She don't even give a shit. She's
said,
like, I'll take care of
Wait, this
myself.
was the other day?
Oh, about 2 weeks ago, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
He got himself all worked up, and
Yeah, I did.
I was really connected.
And
to
she
him
was telling me, just
healing.
relax. It's
I was
lisinopril, you know. Yeah.
Calm down.
That's
It's
right.
hard though when you're in a
Yeah.
state. It is hard.
And then
So
you know
I-
what they did? They put me in the ER, and I seen everybody else worse off than me. And somehow I just fed on that. And then I asked the nurse, "Can you take my blood pressure again?" It was a lot lower than what it just been. I
And
called
I
Nia,
dropped
like,
him off, so
Yeah.
I
You did that all
why
yourself.
not?
yeah,
You did
yeah.
it all yourself.
Yeah.
So I was more careful from then on.
And then when,
about how
and then we had a nice drive and all that, and you got your big drink at Sonic, and then it started raining real hard. Soon, I tell you, as soon as we got home, it started raining like a son of a bitch.
There you go. I said I need something. Please help me. Water always works for me. I love natural
And that's
water.
that video that I posted where she's dancing in the rain. I mean, you know, we stopped to get gas just right up the road, and it was sprinkling a little bit. And I said, go out there and play in the rain, because time we get home, it's going to be gone. And she gets out there a little bit. As soon as we get home, though, boy, it's pouring down for
It was
20
they did
minutes.
at my house
She's-
too.
I called her and Stephanie. I said, because they're very good with weather. I said, bring me rain, please.
And boy, did you guys ever bring rain.
Oh, it was at my house too. It was
Yeah,
everywhere.
It rained
So
like
you
so
like-
hard.
Yeah, if I ask Michelle and Stephanie for something, it happens instantly. They're very good.
I did that once when the fires were in California and I couldn't breathe. I went outside and meditated and I asked for rain, and an hour later it started raining. It hadn't been hot, it hadn't rained in days.
Wow.
So you need it's that kind of stuff that you need to lean into. Whenever you're whenever you're panicked, whenever you're worried, you need to remember that.
Yeah, but I
Because
feel like
that-
I block off. I have all these great things that I can go to remember, but for some reason, when I can't remember it at the moment.
Well, you've got to learn to. You've got to train yourself to. Because right now you're
Think about carrying
habitual.
a notebook.
Well, that would be fine. You're habitual.
Mhm.
Your habit is to go to the bad. You have got to
Mhm.
you've got to make your habit different.
Mhm.
So instead of when the bad things come, you habitually go to the worst things,
Mhm.
worst case scenario. You've got to train yourself to see it, picture it going good.
But
And that's
somebody-
just practice.
So what's the breed? What's
I
that?
was thinking about when I trained myself not to cuss when the kids were little because they were cussing.
Mhm.
Because I would cuss in traffic and this didn't sound like good coming from a 2-year-old. I would say in traffic.
Yeah.
So I got a rubber band, and every time I would cuss or think about a cuss word, I would smack myself with
There
the
you
rubber
go.
band.
Yeah.
And a lot of these girls, I was a manager at a restaurant, and these girls would mess with me, and they'd come and smack my rubber band. But I didn't cuss for years.
Wow, that really helped.
Because you
So when I have a
associate-
bad thought, I could smack.
Well, you want to know how I did it?
How?
Well, I did it after I died. So when I died, I saw what happens. I mean, I literally saw what happens when you do what you do and how it goes to the universe and comes back and creates havoc.
Mhm.
I saw that literally over everybody.
Mhm.
And so every time I think a negative thought like that, I know what the consequences are.
Yeah, that's good.
And
And now
And I
we're
go,
glad.
oh, hell
Yeah.
no. No, no.
Yeah.
I am done being miserable.
Mhm.
So I will stop it immediately. I don't care what the habit is because I know what the consequences are.
Yeah.
So if I think a negative thought, if I'm scared, if I'm fearful, it is going to be responded to.
Mhm.
The universe will respond. You will get worse.
Mhm.
You are right. But if you look at it again, it's going to keep on coming back. So if you're okay with the hell that you've been in your whole life, keep doing it. If you are tired of being in the hell, you stop it. And you don't let anything stop you from stopping it. Not yourself, not anyone else. You just stop it.
You're too intentional. You gotta like chill out a little bit.
Now, it's the only way to do it at the beginning. You have to be really, really tough on yourself.
No, you-
And I was, when I got out and I knew, of course, I had an advantage. I had Stephanie.
Mhm.
And I told Stephanie, I said, if I begin a sentence, if I say a word that even remotely
Hey,
might
David Coon.
be
Welcome.
negative,
Uh-huh.
I want you to stop me.
Mhm.
Literally, for
I
3
want money to
months,
be a
this is the way
non-issue.
I talked.
Mhm.
Well, you know that, Mom.
Oh, I got a good question.
But then there was Mom.
We'll get you
But
Sandra.
you know, and I kept trying to figure, and I thought it was a very positive person. I really did.
Yeah.
But I would say just one word, she'd go, Mom, it cut me off.
Uh-huh.
I would be trying to say something, say it 10 different ways, get a mom every time, and I just didn't say it.
Yeah.
And I literally didn't talk or talk like that for 3 months, but it worked.
Cow
worked. I
Put it in
quit.
the forefront.
So now, even if now I've gotten so good, and Stephanie can do this. I learned this from Stephanie. Stephanie can say negative things now, but there's no energy behind it. There's no message to the other side.
Mhm.
So she can tell you to shut the fuck up. You're being an ass.
She
But
wouldn't
it
do
will
that.
not. Oh hell, she would.
Yes, she would in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
You said it to Chris.
That's right. That's right. And you did too. So.
I did.
But when she does it, she doesn't
I'm with
send energy with it. It's the most amazing thing. She can say whatever she needs to, but it doesn't send a message.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's the ultimate
Cow.
goal, is that you
Open the
control
front doors and the lights
what
are
is
on.
sent to
The light
that
came
you
on when I
create.
opened the
Hey, we
door.
got a question from the group. Ready?
Great.
All right. Let me read that question. This is from Sandra Hughes. What are your best tricks, tools for learning to trust self when you are not being logical, such as driving 20 miles in the wrong direction, which may have been the right direction? You understand that question?
If you,
Oh, and I have a question too when y'all
there
done.
is absolutely nothing I don't trust myself for, and I don't believe in things happening for no reason. So if I were to find that I had driven 20 miles in the wrong direction, the first thing I would think is, wow, good for me. I'll bet you there was a terrible wreck that I avoided by doing
Very,
that.
very good. Very good.
Making up stories around your situation was my go-to. So if somebody pulls in front of me in traffic, I don't say, goddamn motherfuckers are just trying to fuck up my life. I say,
Do you need
oh,
your diaper change?
they're in a hurry because they just got a
Yeah.
message that
Get
their
diaper.
dog got hit. And they're rushing
Get
home,
diaper.
and they're in so much distress. I send somebody. That's the kind of in truth, you don't know what's going on. So make up a story that's good instead of one that's bad. Why all the bad stories in your mind?
Oh, well, tell me.
You've got a choice. Choose a good story. Every time. If somebody's snarling at you, send them love. Think of something reason why they would be snarling. That has nothing to do with you. That has to do with something in their life. Try thinking about the other person for a change.
Very good. Yeah, because we always think, oh, that son of a bitch flicked me off. I'm gonna flick him back off. Ain't that right, Simone?
But
You get ghetto, don't you?
Usually people you're very egotistical. And for a bunch of people that believe in oneness and that we're all one, how terrible is that? How terrible is that of you to attack someone else when they are you?
Yeah.
You should
very
be
good
giving
point.
them love. You shouldn't not
We
be
forget
attacking.
that.
That
in
was
the
the one
moment.
thing when I first went out of body. I saw the oneness. When I first came back, at first I wasn't going to come back. I was like, nah, I'm done. But when I first came back, the first thing I did was I called Naya, I Skyped you guys. And I was looking at you guys like, oh my God, this is so weird. They're all me. Like, I almost couldn't handle it.
Yeah. And that's how I see everything. Not the people, but buildings and the plants. I see all of them like that. So I can't, it gets me into trouble because I see you as me.
Yeah, and then you
If
don't
you
want
were
to
to-
hurt. Yeah.
And if you were wanting to hurt me, I'd never see it coming. And I don't. But most of the time now I'm such a vibration that most people don't.
Yeah.
And the only ones that now can get me are the reptilians. Really, I've about got them under control. It's the draconians that can get me. I haven't quite got them.
And what are the reptilians and the draconians?
Well, they're the ultimate ones that are in charge of making this place 3D accessible.
Okay.
So for God to be able to come and be in 3D, because the programs and
Oh,
stuff
I
they
went
put
over
in
there.
place here are the ones that make it so that you'll
Keep
forget.
the lights on. Keep the
They're
lights
the ones that
on.
have done most of the work. They're phenomenally
Mhm.
awesome.
Open
what
it and the
they
light
do.
The reptilians.
The reptilians are under the draconians. The
Okay.
draconians are actually the big bosses. Now, if a draconian decided to stand right here, his head would hit the ceiling, you would hit the floor.
Oh, yeah.
They're
There you go.
incredibly
Okay,
powerful.
even like you
Okay, so
were.
my energy healing class teacher, she mentioned something about a
That's
draconian
cool.
implant. So that just goes to show you the stuff that I'm hearing is not just from you.
No, we had implants.
It's
Naya took them out.
it's a universal.
Oh, yeah.
You had implants.
Everybody
Didn't
uses the
somebody
way-
have implants?
Yeah, good. Fine. Right here now.
Who, mine? And I requested some of them to get taken out. I have a question though.
All right, let's sit without.
Let's see. This is actually my cousin. She lives in St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello.
Hello,
And-
cousin in St.
Hey,
Louis.
cuz.
Her southern red hair fox. Okay. So she said, what is what is Zen feeling at a moment with the stone, and what's the feeling or energy received from the two stones Zen mommy was rubbing, touching? I'm new to the Stone Age. I love the way you use the Stone Age. It's making me think the humans during that time were a lot more in tuned and aware than the narrative society puts out.
Oh, hell yeah. Way more.
So,
The stones are they're the oldest beings here.
so these are beings?
Yeah,
Everything-
everything's beings. Everything you see, it has consciousness. Everything.
David,
Yeah, I know. I've been
consciousness.
I watched
Hey,
the
Daryl,
Suicide
thanks for
Yes,
joining.
everything is consciousness. The atoms in the air, the oxygen in the air, those are consciousness.
Mhm.
Everything's consciousness. Everything is a part of the all that is. But stones have been here the longest. And certain stones have been here a really long time. So they've got a lot of information if you want to talk to them. Trees are the next best thing. The old ones, the big ones, they have a lot of knowledge. They watch. And stones absorb, if you think of that.
Yeah.
The trees watch. They watch, and then they almost watch, and then they disperse. They'll disperse their knowledge. If you can pick up the vibrations, then they're always teaching. It's like an umbrella. It's like they watch umbrella. Here's the information. Watch umbrella. Here's the information.
Is that why when I do videos by a tree, I get more effective?
Absolutely.
I get more downloads, information.
That big
like-
weeping willow.
Now stones,
I love it.
stones, you have to reach harder. They don't just send it. You've got to go and ask them.
I
You've
haven't
got-
really like
you've got
connected
to-
with a song like that. She's asking what I feel. I don't know. It was over there. I guess you gave this to Gman, and I just I was just drawn to
It
it,
looked like something from
and I feel
Superman
it
movie.
vibrating on my fingertips, but I don't really know what
I believe it's
what
clear
it's doing
quartz
to me
from
right now. It's clear quartz.
Is that out of my bowl?
Yep, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I think I got that out of Peru or South America somewhere. That one came
So
from.
why am I drawn to it right now?
I think they called it pink. It's not really clear. I think is that one a pink one? I had clear and pink.
This one.
Yeah, and that one I think had something. I know, but they're very slightly.
You
pink.
went to Peru?
No, I ordered them
Oh,
from
okay.
there.
Okay.
Keep trying. Keep going.
Keep going. What is that?
Keep going. What do you keep going? Keep talking about feeling.
Okay, yeah, it's vibrating. It feels kind of heavy, but I feel like I can feel like the consciousness moving, like it is trying to, I don't know, like communicate through the vibrations that it's sending to my hand, but I don't know what it's saying.
It's helping you sort out that.
Oh, I can, you know what? I think that feels like.
It's helping you sort that out.
Uh-huh.
That's what it's doing.
Oh, you should definitely have that then.
Yeah,
You should definitely have that
I
stuff.
feel like I need to put it on my head. to
Yeah,
sort
you
it
should,
out.
That's for
wear
you.
it. You should wear. You know, like I got my little bag. You should wear it.
Uh-huh.
Preferably right about your
Uh-huh.
right there. Just put it in a bag and hang it around your chest because it's definitely helping you disentangle all of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I feel like it's only just right in this section, but if I hold it long enough, eventually
Yeah,
it'll.
it's really going like this.
Okay.
You can feel it in your arm, but you can't feel it out here. But when it's going, there's a vortex here that's going.
Oh.
If you were to do this, it would vortex over you and go,
And you know what? I can feel that in my crown chakra. I
Yeah.
totally can feel it.
and it would go.
That's crazy. It feels like something. Oh, right. And I feel. See, she has it way up here. I
Yeah.
felt it way down
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can also use the point. You can also go like this. Face. Like that.
Uh huh.
Hold your other hand the other way. There you go.
You feel it shooting out?
Now think here, line over to your other palm. And uncross your leg.
Okay. Yeah. I can feel it.
There you go.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That stone's speaking to you because I thought it was just cool looking. It didn't mean anything to me though.
Yeah.
That's
I did one
definitely.
to-
And what about this one? Is
Yeah.
this one helping me?
That one's just fucking powerful.
That-
Awesome.
I felt something
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
said you hear it.
That's amazing.
That,
It's like
yeah.
Yeah,
that one right there is going.
That's
Yeah, this one's a powerful
that's the
one.
Titanic right there.
Everybody,
my
everybody,
head
even
is
people
like
who are not
buzzing.
spiritual, when I hand them this stone, they feel
Yeah,
something.
I want one of
I
those.
tuned
They're
it
like,
out.
oh my
We'll
god.
find you one.
Yeah,
We'll
I
find
tuned it
really
out.
need one of
I'll
those.
get you one, no problem.
When I go back to California, I know a place that they have to do it.
Naya needs a big piece of kyanite, everybody.
Kyanite.
It's a kyanite. That's kyanite.
Show the
And
kyanite.
It actually cleanses
It's like a
negative
blue, it
energy.
looks like a blue, selenite moonstone.
I got
This
see,
is
that
also-
one, that one doesn't do it, but that one does.
Yeah, that one's different.
Yeah,
but
that
that
was-
one's a little bit lighter and it's bigger.
Very dense.
Yeah, it looks like a selenite. It's the kind that you can't put underwater.
He's amazed that no one can see this.
Does
I
it come
just-
from this planet?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, very, 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 very old.
Yeah, wasn't that amazing how you called that right on the money? Where it feels.
Yeah.
Is that what
Oh,
you
that's
said?
true. It does.
Another one that I thought was cool was this one. What is this right here?
I don't know. Are.
You know what
We,
that is?
we never
Yeah.
know what they are. We just know what they say.
Now I picked this up in Sedona and I was given this by.
Where is Sedona?
This
It's
is,
in Arizona. It's
Oh, okay.
like a
This
lot
is
of
close.
vortex areas. It's very
Well-
sacred to me.
It's like
so
sandstone.
you know how they say the colors align with the chakras? What
Uh-huh.
does that mean for us if our chakras are collapsed then? Do they still?
Then
We're
don't
every
do that.
color. We're
Yeah.
just every color.
Then your stones start talking to your beingness, something in your being that you want. Your wholeness, not an individual chakra. As long as you talk chakras and deal with chakras, and you're gonna have them. They will separate immediately. That's actually an implant.
Is that one speaking to
Oh,
you?
it
too?
is the
Reptilian
implant.
Mhm.
The reptilians.
That one's speaking to you too, isn't it?
Work
It
down the
is
chakras.
speaking to me. I don't know what it's saying. I know it's saying something different than that one.
I've had these stones for a long time.
I don't
It's been in my
Yeah, you
house.
gotta, yeah. It's like the yin and the yang.
What
happens if you hold one in one hand and the other?
Stones and give them away.
See what that does.
Collecting stones and give them away.
Cause I'm kind of like a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna have no snow if you keep giving all these away.
That's
Because
what
we're
you
meant to
do.
be.
That's
And
what
when,
you do.
when you
It's
have
slow.
your own
It's
ayahuasca, you
Yeah,
can
it's
Okay.
slow, yeah.
Okay, that one over there does not work. You need another one. That's a single stone.
Should I try one on mine?
Yeah, there's you gotta have one in
Oh, that's
each
a nice
hand.
selenite.
Yeah, what's that? What's that? Yeah,
It's
what is that?
selenite.
Oh yeah,
Also
got-
That's pretty
cleansing.
cool. That's pretty
It's a
cool.
lot like the
That's some
kyanite.
moonstone. That's
I
one
know
of
that stuff I got all over my house.
I have a
What is
big
selenite good for?
And I've got it
cleansing
cleansing
energy, just like the
And I've got
kyanite.
some in
Yeah.
here too, a little bit in here.
And it's self-cleaning. You don't have to sage it.
I put it in a window.
It actually cleanses everything.
Yeah.
You can like put your stones.
You need to leave this
cleanse
out. You need to put this on your
And the
table.
same as this. I have like
Yes.
10 of those. I've been
Yes.
giving them
Fish you
away.
put in the middle of your house.
Together.
Just in the middle of the house. And those you put they need sunlight.
By the window.
Yeah, they need
See, my
sunlight.
daughter made this.
Oh, that's
This is
beautiful.
my pendulum.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi, sweetie. What do we got?
Those aren't real songs,
Where's your-
but the
where's the
songs.
pig?
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't
cool.
matter, they can work just
Where's
as
everybody
well.
at?
Okay.
Where's
You're a
where's
god, you
your
can do
pig
anything.
and your horse?
Huh?
You're a god, you can do anything. You can make
Like
it
a
a real,
monkey.
real.
Where- There's a monkey in there.
Sound is muffled.
Nice, she likes.
Can you guys hear the sound okay?
Your daughter, when she made that, she made it with a great deal of intent.
Yeah, this is what she's doing. She wants to, her creative
So she's an
side is
artist.
painting and this,
Yes.
and she has an Etsy store.
Yes, I checked it
Can
out.
you guys hear okay?
But
Type- type something
she's
so I
still
can-
working on lots of different
so I know
jewelry.
we're going all right.
My friend Bridget makes jewelry like that too.
Let's try this.
Put the stuff.
Let me see if there's any other questions here.
I'd love to make. It looks so cool.
My
Should
friend
be all
Bridget
right.
makes it. She made some on a piece.
Maybe just a
Okay,
lot of- maybe a lot of
my
talking.
cousin, her name
It's
is
okay.
Bernie. She says thanks. My shaman friend.
Jewel
Oh, no, I don't
live.
know.
She's live on her channel right now, Zen Mommy, and we're live on Naya's channel.
Okay, I can't do
And we
this
have
now.
8 people watching. Great, excellent. Thank you, Mary. If you guys have any questions to anybody in the group,
Okay, so I have 4 people watching,
I know,
3
Daryl,
now.
you got a lot of
You guys have any
questions.
questions now? It's a good
Oh,
time
we
to
got
ask.
David
while we
Coon
got
and Daryl
9.
joining.
Hi, Daryl. Hi, David.
Hi, Daryl. Hi, David. I remember chat last night.
Yeah.
Amazing, everybody's here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just something how this just happened overnight. Like, all of a sudden, Storm gives me that dream I have to go. Roommate got toxic. Gman got hurt.
Yeah.
You were called here. Then McKim showed up. It's just like we
Jeremy's
It's
gonna
like
stop
we
through.
planned it or something.
Family reunion
a
is
higher
what I
self
thought.
planned it.
I thought we were
I
having a
don't know.
wedding.
I don't think we didn't plan this. You planned it.
No, I mean, we
Yeah.
all had to.
We all
I had
planned
no
it.
idea.
All
that
I
was
did
gonna
was-
be it.
Yeah.
I
I definitely had no clue. I
I
thought
did.
about it. You know, I thought about it. Like when I get a car, I want to drive past and visit G-Man. That was in my mind to
Well, here you
drive
go. Here you go.
there.
Well, you did get a car and drive to G-Man.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
did.
Yeah.
You should have been
I
a
just
little
didn't
more
think of it.
specific about that. You should have said, my car. You got it all right except for
That's
the
right.
my car.
I'm getting my car, damn it.
Yeah.
But you were close.
Yeah,
It was within your
Yeah.
believability, so
Yeah.
let's leave it at that.
with manifestations.
Questions, oh my God, you guys.
That's why you stay in the now, because I mean, then you just flow into the
Come on,
next
guys, we
thing.
got
You don't even
Naya,
have to think
we got
about it.
Michelle.
Exactly.
Let's
Go.
go.
She's here.
This is a
Yeah.
once in a lifetime
People say, what are you gonna do?
opportunity.
You go, I
I
don't know.
have no
If you don't
idea.
take
What time
advantage
is
of
it?
this,
I don't know.
I'm gonna turn this shit off right now.
I don't know and I don't care.
That's exactly right.
I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah.
I can tell
Seriously,
you,
though,
for
ask some
45
questions.
years, I tried
About
planning and
anything.
it didn't work. I
Conspiracy
think I can work this
theories.
for a while.
You know, but some people, they can
Life
plan
and
out
death.
educations, business
Anything.
plans, but I can't
Fairies.
plan anything.
Yeah, but
Nothing.
you're a
As
star.
soon as I try to plan it, it
5D,
collapses.
4D,
That's because you worry.
life, death.
You back it with
What
worry.
you would have
What if it
done if
doesn't
you would have
work?
took this route or that
You're
route.
doomed. Every plan
If
you
you want to
make,
ask a
you've
question,
got behind
we're
it.
gonna make
What if
small.
it doesn't work? And what can I do if it doesn't work?
Yes.
That's doomed.
You gotta ask a question because no one else is asking.
Oh, y'all ready for Simone?
You
That's
gotta
even
get- you gotta
worse
get the
than
ball
that.
rolling.
He assumes that it's
Yeah,
gonna
he-
All right, here's the
he
question.
just knows. He plans
You ready?
everything.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is, okay, I'll just ask something that okay, so the next time, oh, what happened?
Dead on you.